was in that I did shit with was a band called Embalming Process,
Okay.
which was like my band. I like conceived of it, got all the dudes together. Excuse me, got all the dudes together, and we played a show at Sidebar with like Undergang and a few other bands played. It's a gore grind band. I played drums in that band, but I've historically played. I first started off playing. I like my first instrument was guitar. So like my first two bands. The first one was a death metal band, and the second one was like a kind of like a crusty grindcore band. I played guitar and did vocals in both those bands. But after that, I played bass in a band called Laps and a band called Grounds, both from Baltimore. We gigged for a couple of years. Then I was not active for like 3 4 years, and I joined this band called Bestial Evil, which is kind of notorious now because that was the band I was in that had the Nazis in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Christ.
I could talk about that more if you want, but
I'm
yeah,
guessing you didn't know
Jesus.
about that one
not at the time,
at
no,
first.
and I wasn't as
Jesus, man.
yeah,
Nazi.
yeah, but after that fell
Thanks.
apart, I was like, I'm done playing metal. So I took a long break. I started doing like techno music, like video game soundtrack type stuff.
I was dog. Listen, okay. So I was gonna say a minute ago, like if you like clearly you're a competent like musician and shit. If you just for fun want to bounce, what DAW do you use? Because if you want to bounce projects,
FL.
dude,
Yeah.
oh okay, I'm Ableton, but
Oh, okay.
I could work FL.
I was gonna say, yeah, I can still send like stems.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to fuck around with stuff, I'd be more than happy to. I'm doing it all, literally all the time. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
great, man.
yeah, but my current bands are Embalming Process. I'm in another band called Obsessive, which is like another gore grind band. Pretty much the only band stuff I do right now is just in the vein of just straight up gore grind or gore noise, and I haven't done anything as far as playing live with a band or really jamming with other people in some years now, since COVID and everything. But I still
Right.
be looping shit in my room by myself and looping shit in here. So
What did you use to like? Do you do your own sound design and stuff too when you do like electronic shit?
sometimes it really depends on how nerdy I feel about getting about it. So like with drum sounds, I'll do like drum samples, and when I
Oh,
do
of
my
course.
yeah
Man.
when I do my project live, it's called Nightmare Difficulty, and when I do that live, I usually play distorted guitar over it. But other than that, I don't really do. I usually just do whatever VSTs I can find, and even then, I'm still like, I'm just gonna use the default settings. But
Yeah.
sometimes, if I want to tweak like reverb or, arpeggiator or something like that,
Yeah.
I'll give that a tweak. But most of the time, I don't really put the effort into getting super super nerdy with
It's
the sound design.
yeah. It is just that. It's the nerdiest fucking shit you could possibly do. I got mad secrets though. If you ever have questions,
Hell
I've been
yeah,
doing this for 10 years. I literally EDM is like my main thing, my main
nice.
like
Hell
genre.
yeah, yeah.
EDM is almost a slur. Electronic music is what I'll say.
Yeah, I was gonna say EDM. It was weird because I was calling it that at first, but then I just kind of owned techno music because the historic fucking vibes of like black people and techno music and shit. And like the first
No,
song I
gay
downloaded off
people too.
Napster back in like 1999 was the Blade techno music. So
Bro, do you know Virtual Self?
nah, it doesn't sound familiar.
So we're live, by the way, Chad. But look, you should look up Virtual Self. It's like all that '90s rave shit, but like with the modern twist on it. Do you know who Porter Robinson is?
Nah, I haven't
I know
heard that.
Porter Robinson.
Okay, it's that
That's
guy,
one
but like
band I know.
he was not. It's a producer. God damn it.
Whatever.
But
Okay.
yeah, yeah. But like he's really good. But like he was like, I really love the '90s rave shit. I'm gonna do that, literally just like that.
Yeah,
But now,
that was me. Except I was like, I really fuck with like the Extreme G soundtrack, F Zero X's soundtrack, fucking X-Men Mutant Academy soundtrack, like and all the old school like Sega Genesis shit and all that. So I was like, I'm just gonna
oh
do
yeah,
music
yeah, yeah.
like that.
It's fucking sick, man. I like have a deep appreciation for all that like I don't know, just that real like beginnings of like rave music. I love the culture too. Like the
Yeah.
I like finding a fucking abandoned warehouse.
Oh hell
You
yeah.
fucking bring a bunch of PA systems in that bitch, and you sit there, you bring as many people as possible in, and eventually get at like 4 a.m. You get like cops coming in. You know,
That's
to
why it was such
scatter.
an easy transition because the same thing, the same rules and everything were in place with, you know, the punk scene, the hardcore scene, the metal scene. Like my favorite venue in the city was a spot called Nowhere House, which was just like this warehouse that some dudes got and rented back in like between like 2008, 2010, 2011ish maybe, and did a bunch of shows there. And coincidentally, it ended up becoming like a rave spot where somebody else like bought it and threw raves there until it finally got shut down. Shut down.
That's so fucking beautiful to me, dude. I just
Yeah.
I love that like
What
I
up,
don't know. I
Tegma?
love that like just underground shit. Like it's not about anything but like
Just
just the
community and
local
vibes.
energy. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Like that and you being like a
What
hardcore
up,
kid,
Kuma?
like it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
I'm into
it's
both
the same
kinds of
kind of thing.
hardcore.
Yeah, no, that's sick, man. That's sick.
Thank you.
Um, yeah,
Hell
I'd
yeah.
definitely be like, I'll hit you up after this on Twitter, and
Yeah,
we
for
could
sure.
bounce projects back and forth because I'm again literally always doing this. Got a super secret electronic thing coming, and I can't say what it is or I'll dox myself. But yeah, this is something I do a lot.
Right on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here's a question for you. Would you be so we have like I mean Chad here like sat down while he was in like a meeting at work and like wrote down some questions to
Yeah,
ask
for
you.
sure.
Would you be cool with us recording this for our like actual podcast on
Yeah,
Spotify?
absolutely. Yeah. Hell
I'll
yeah.
credit you. I'll put like, this is Endless
I
Cemetery of Bolsheviks, all that shit.
fucking that's cool and that's well, I'm glad you're doing that, but I don't give a shit, man. All this shit is for free. Information wants to be free. I'm
Oh,
an
I feel the same,
anarchist.
Hell yeah, man.
same way, dude.
Damn.
Same.
All right. Cool. I don't know if you got the chance. So if you go into the general chat, if you see on the text channels, I made like a little quick show note thing. And this is kind of
Okay.
like topics that I kind of give some sort of structure. We don't
I
have to
see.
follow that, but
Right on.
like
Just kind of like the
if
rubric.
yeah. If you want to go to some of these questions, and I
Yeah,
kind
for
of
sure.
I didn't want to make it like a lecture, but I have some like
I'm into that.
initial
I'm into
things.
I'm into the nitty gritty shit. So I'm a
Okay,
hembo,
okay.
so I don't know what the
For
fuck
you?
I'm talking about half the
Let's
time.
go.
But
Well, I know because we were talking
What up,
about this.
Roxy?
You're like, I don't think like I remember I was talking last time. You were like, the Constitution's like bullshit. So I thought you were like the kind of like the perfect guy to have for this
yeah,
topic. So I don't know. Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting because I honestly
I
like
feel
I
it.
was thinking about this because I know Kyle well enough, obviously. So like I know kind of what I think his answers are going to be to some of these questions and some of these like debate topics,
Right on.
but I have no idea what you're going to say. So I thought that would be really cool too. So
It's cool
What
doing
always
this kind of
wows
stuff.
me-
yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. What wows me is like, so certain people, when asked a question, I come up with a response and then they say the same response. You've done the same thing, Cemetery,
Yeah.
a few times.
Yeah.
When we talk to you. So like, I mean, it probably comes with being an anarchist.
I was
but,
gonna say, yeah, it's just from we have the similar backgrounds of just vibing, just partying. Like that's the goal. Like just whatever facilitates the party.
Enjoy your life.
Yeah,
live, yeah, to fucking live and not, sacrifice
Alright.
all of your energy
Facts.
to fucking
work and
Dude,
make someone
yeah.
else happy. Let someone else live.
exactly, exactly. All right, I'm gonna get Craig.
Yeah, bring Craig
here.
in.
Are we
shit.
in? We're in. Okay, we're in. Hogs, cool. So, what is it? /join.
I'm gonna get high. Sorry.
Oh, you're good, dude.
You're
You're
good.
crazy, dude. Go bananas.
So I have these like kind of general statements.
recording.
Ooh.
Should I do an intro? I don't know what the intro. We can do an intro later, I guess.
It doesn't fucking matter.
All right. Welcome to Hogs And Men podcast featuring Endless Cemetery, the wonderful, beautiful Twitch streamer.
Hello.
Man, the myth, the legend from Bolsheviks. podcast. Baltimore, Maryland, hardcore guy, anarchist. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sorry, I was distracted.
Oh, dude, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm just kind of artist, musician, worker, just like guy on the ground in Baltimore. Getting more and more, yeah, straight proletariat. Getting more and more into journalism and like learning how to like communicate ideas to a mass audience and write in a way that's coherent and informative. So that's kind of been my thing with my co-host, my podcast co-host lately, and yeah, that's just kind of my thing. On Twitch, I was an FGC streamer. I started off as just like a fighting game community streamer, and I decided to lean more into politics after 2020 when I decided I was gonna stream the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor protests here in Baltimore just to counter the narrative of the mainstream media, but also cop watch, show the police doing exactly what the fuck they did, beating on unarmed protesters, snatching people up, like just general police shit. And
That's beautiful, man.
it's a weird spot because it's like I always have kind of like this imposter syndrome about it, whether or not I'm doing the right thing in any given moment. Just because, it's weird. It's touchy stuff. You generally don't want to bring cameras and stuff like that to protests and demonstrations, so you don't dox people, you don't give people shit up. Yeah. But I felt like it was, for whatever reason in that moment, I was like, I'm going to film the police. Like, I'm going to cruise through the city to show that we're not doing what they say we're doing. We're not rioting. We're not looting. We're not doing any of that shit.
Yeah.
But
I think that's really important. Yeah, especially to counter, like you said, counter the mainstream narrative, which is making those protests out to be villains.
right, because that's
And that's
exactly what
not
they
really
ended
what's
up doing. Like where the craziest shit that happened with me, like the area where I almost got kettled, it was like in kind of like Baltimore's red light district. So if you watched the news or you heard the news talk about it, they were talking about how there was looting going on and breaking windows and stuff. When the area where all that shit happened was literally just titty bars and like one fucking like artisanal coffee shop that it just went there. So there was literally nothing to loot or break into, even if that's what we wanted to do in that area.
Was it if you don't mind me asking, like, was it local news that was kind of portraying that? Is it that way? Really?
Because I was on the news.
Baltimore's extremely left, and so is Maryland. Maryland's pretty.
Hell nah. So like,
you don't think so?
And
I mean, they're authoritarian.
I was gonna say,
like,
yeah, they're liberal, but like as far as our, there's a company called Sinclair Broadcast Group that so you guys already know. Yeah, they've pretty much very efficiently captured our media here, but also the kids of those people do this thing called Atlas Restaurant Group, where like a bunch of restaurants in the area are owned by them in the city, and they have like those weird dress codes. You know what I'm saying? Air quotes that are like, and there's been lots of, like call out posts on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff, like Baltimore Twitter, talking about people being discriminated against, trying to eat at their restaurants, and to the point where there's straight up graffiti stickers. Like someone just like printed a shitload of "Don't Eat Atlas" stickers and sticker bombed all the signs and walls and shit that they could find in the city. It's it's a liberal fucking nightmare. Like it's a liberal hellhole. Like RoboCop could not, like Paul Verhoeven could not write Baltimore. Like just like how like Chicago and shit is, like it's corrupt. Like it's insanely corrupt.
Right.
On the outside looking in at that, it seems very much like the liberal equivalent to the plights of the average like Baltimore citizen. The ones who are like living in poverty. Their response to those people is similar to like the Republican thoughts and prayers response to like all of these shootings. It's like we hear you.
Hope it gets better.
I'm checking my privilege, but I'm not going to do fucking anything.
Well, that's why I
remedy the situation.
Right. That's why I push super hard and try really hard to fundraise for and just like give out information about food not bombs, not just Baltimore food not bombs, but like food not bombs everywhere, because they're one of those anarchist measures that is supposed to be like a stopgap between the streets and the voting booth.
Yeah.
And the goal of food not bombs is to create a world where food not bombs is not necessary anymore. So it's like,
Right.
Which is beautiful.
right.
The interesting thing about that too is like Baltimore is extremely Democrat, as well as
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Maryland, like Democrat,
Super blue, yeah.
but it.
But we have a
doesn't,
Republican
like-
governor.
Yeah, well, that's true. That I mean, I guess that's true. So maybe I shouldn't say extremely Democrat. That's
The
not totally true.
it's Democratic in terms of like the reason being is that we're like we're a majority black city. So a lot of that influences votes, but the Maryland's gerrymandering is fucking insane. And
That's what I was gonna say. Is like this
Yeah.
really leads into like the corruptions. Like you can say vote blue all you want, but like the city's blue, and it's not like it's getting better. Like,
yeah, there's a
The white
district.
libs that
it's corruption.
choose-
Yeah, the district is like this weird like wishbone shaped shits that's like
Yeah.
the northernmost.
Crenshaws eye patch.
Yeah, it's
They
like
don't
the
even need to do that, right? Like,
They don't.
Like at this point, like
doesn't
you don't
do
even need the
anything.
gerrymander. Like they're gonna vote for you anyways. Like
So-
why not just get rid of that?
Yeah, well, I mean, so the Maryland and like Baltimore has the first segregation laws on record, like in the history of the country. So a lot of that shit is so entrenched that even if you got rid of the gerrymandering, things would be the way they are because we still have sundown towns here. Like out in Carroll County is a fucking. I refuse to go out there unarmed.
Explain what sundown towns means.
So sundown towns come from back in Jim Crow and black codes and shit. So where it is a whites only town basically. Shops would be whites only, blah 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 blah. And if you were black and caught in that place after dark, you would be lynched.
So that's like I just looked it up, but that's like I mean not quite totally similar to where I grew up, but like where Kyle and I would visit. Like kind of like within the area. Like I mean I didn't live in a place where like if you were a black guy you get lynched. Like
It's not as bad
definitely
now.
not that bad.
Because
Yeah.
there's liberals that move into those places and stuff, but like out there, I covered this on my stream a few weeks
This is
ago.
like country. Like,
Yeah,
this is like
yeah,
country.
it's still
Yeah, that's what
country.
it is, yeah.
They put it just little apocrypha about that area. So they banned the Confederate flag on school property there, like maybe like 2-3 years ago, and they're still so fucking tight about it. They just banned the pride flag there. The liberal compromise, the liberal compromise, because people were raising a fuss about it, and they were like, "Well, you banned our flags on the basis of political ideology, but the pride flag doesn't represent like the pride flags were literally there in the first place because the queer kids were getting fucking bullied. So they gave the local organization gave teachers the flags and said, "Hey, if you want to fly these flags, here you go for solidarity with your students." But that was received by these other fucking disgusting bigots as this organization pushing a political narrative because they believe that all gay people are grooming children, all trans people want to fucking go into bathrooms to like fuck little girls and shit, all that stuff, right?
Which is insane.
Right? Yeah.
That's like literally the same argument that people have like around kind of where we grew up. It's like
Right.
it's just like brainwashed kind of like country people that are not exposed to any sort of
Right.
diversity really. Because like
Facts.
if you see like I mean if you're in a total like I mean I'm kind of guilty of this. Like I grew up in a town that was like 99.5% white. Like there was 2 black kids that went to my high school. Like
Yeah.
but even so, we never had any like racist issues. At least
For
that
sure.
I could see. I mean, like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I don't
I
know,
had
but
plenty of
at least
black
nothing that I was able to observe.
Right.
There were plenty
Like-
of black kids I went to school with, and there were race issues here and there. Now the
We had
kids,
more people making fun of the like country hicks that would have their fucking lifted ass trucks rolling coal.
That
Like
shit's
those
funny.
kids got
those
got
kids
bullied.
are
and
asking
shit.
for it, man. Those kids deserve to get bullied. But like,
Well,
no,
exactly.
we had racist issues. Now, luckily, like half the time at least, like the kids that would say something stupid on a racial level will get, their jaw separated from their skull.
Right.
Yeah.
Not even just by black kids, but also by white kids who are just like, that's not cool. Because if you like associate with people who are not just white, you're gonna.
What up, Kev? What up,
realize
Globus?
there's
What up,
bullshit.
Fett?
But,
What up,
like,
Heavy T?
I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy because like what you're saying about like the pride flags and stuff, like this should not be something that people interpret as political, right?
Oh, but
We
that
should
was well.
say,
That's what I'm saying. That's what the liberal
Right, it's
compromise
not.
was. The liberal compromise was okay. We're just going to get rid of all flags. So the only flags, yeah. So the only flags you can fly is the Maryland flag, the Carroll County flag, and the United States flag. That's it.
which is crazy because it's not a political thing. It's literally just showing solidarity with other Americans,
Right.
right? It's not saying I support X candidate or Y candidate or I want to abolish whatever or I support gun control. It's literally like gay people are Americans. LGBTQIA plus spectrum. That this is all American people. We support them. So it's
Right.
crazy to want to like
Tiny
ban that,
Bone,
and
you're
it's only
weird,
getting worse,
and
too.
Jason
Like, you see the
John
shit starting in
Stockton,
Florida
yeah,
with, like,
who owns the Carroll
you know,
County flag is correct.
don't say gay shit. Like,
Yeah, it's same vibe, same vibe.
I really just like. I mean, maybe this is just me being very just stupid, honestly. But I don't see the point of all this stuff. Like, I feel like we have such bigger issues that we should be focusing on.
Oh well,
Like,
yeah, it's
like,
distraction.
Who cares what flag is going on? Like, we have
Yeah,
an immense poor population. Like, the economic opportunities are being funneled so upwards to the select few people. Like, these are the issues that we should be addressing. And like somehow, and I know why. It's media and it's the
yeah,
fucking,
capitalism. Because I was gonna say,
Yeah,
because conservatives used to be fucking based. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
they
Like coal
honestly had
miners
some
and
good ideas.
yeah, coal miners and truck drivers and shit. They were putting in work. They were getting busy. That's why we only have to work 8 hours a day instead of all
Exactly,
day. And like,
exactly.
yeah,
many of them.
And now it's just like you can't put up that flag because I get mad because you ban my flag because there's
Yep.
gay people, and also it's so I just feel like this is my most frustrating thing
Thank you, Bink.
with the country is like we get so stuck in all of these arguments of just like nonsense. Not, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying
it's
nonsense,
important,
because it
but
does
it's
matter.
not.
It is important.
It's well, it gets liberalized because I was actually just talking about this on stream last night to where like there's gonna be the flavor of the month advocacy, right? Right now it's LGBTQIA plus rights because of all legislation's passing and dovetailed with like abortion rights and reproductive rights. A year ago it was stop Asian hate. Before that it was hashtag Black Lives Matter. And it's like all this shit comes and goes. Hassan said it today. It gets co-opted by Democrats, and then it gets commodified by capitalists, and then it becomes a product to be bought and sold, and
Bro,
then
it's
nobody
still-
gives
I
a
did
fuck
talk
about it
this.
anymore.
Did you see the Walmart brand ice cream of
Oh yeah, that's
Juneteenth
Oh my
brand
God.
fucking
Juneteenth ice cream.
Like, are you
Should be
fucking
fucking
kidding
cute.
me, man?
And it's such a weird intersection of like microaggression because I don't know if you knew about like why black people like. Do you know about the thing where like black people fuck with butter pecan ice cream?
I do not
No,
know that.
tell us about this.
You like
Tell us
butter?
about-
Do you like butter pecan?
I
hate
do
butter
not.
pecan.
I do not. But it's a thing with like older head black people because
Okay.
when you would go to ice cream shops and shit, they would be racist pieces of shit, obviously. So they'd fuck with your ice cream or give you old ice cream and shit. So the only way to ensure that it was like fresh and not fucked with was to get butter pecan. And I didn't realize that. It was explained to me.
Why is that?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Must be something with production that like they
Yeah.
have to make it fresh or
Because
something.
I used
The
to,
obvious.
yeah,
It's not fucked with or something.
yeah, I used to work at this spot called Lucky's. Fuck that place. Don't spend your money there. But I was a barista and served ice cream there, and they served Taharka Brothers Ice Cream, which is like this black-owned workers co-op ice cream shop in Baltimore City, just based as fuck. And so we would get people coming in all the time because the area that the shop was in like the most touristy part of the harbor. And so black people from the area would come in all the time and they would always buy butter pecan. And I was just fucking around one day. And like, I don't even know how the question came up or how the discussion came about. But like, yeah, it's a thing where like they couldn't get vanilla or they weren't allowed to have vanilla because that was reserved for the white people.
Oh my god.
It's interesting.
That's crazy. Every time you come on, we talk about shit. You drop like all these crazy
Yeah, it's just like
I've never
things
heard
that I
of.
have no idea about. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all good. I try. Like, yeah, but
I appreciate it personally. I mean,
thank you.
we got to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
into the
yeah, of
class,
course.
into the class reductionism shit that we were kind of just like
Oh boy, please.
phrasing with, because like I personally,
Mm.
and I think Chad probably feels the same way. I personally hate getting into it on my own because like, I mean, look at me. I'm a white person. It's like I want to talk
I
to
hadn't
somebody who
noticed.
actually has a face.
Right.
I want to talk to somebody who actually faces race-related
I
issues
feel it,
about this stuff and get
and
their
is conscious
opinion on
about it. Yeah,
it. Yeah.
because you don't want to talk to like Candace Owens about fucking.
Fuck no, I
At
wanna
least not
talk to somebody who
publicly.
thinks
Maybe in private, but
that.
yeah.
Oh my god, dude, no, not in, never. But I want to talk to somebody who is black, does face these issues, and is also very aware of it about this stuff. So what are
I
your
have
kind of thoughts
okay.
on this?
Wait. Just to because I think this is actually going to be really, really fun because it's going to be kind of really sad. Um,
God.
so I think it's going to be a good preface into this topic. But
Okay.
so I work at a very diverse workplace. Like
Nice.
I am like actually one of, and this is again, I grew up in a like all white town, like farm town, right? So this is like I'm in the most diverse place I've ever been, basically. Not that I have any issues. I just want to clarify. I don't care that like whatever.
That's not
Yeah,
racist,
Globus,
but
it's
I'm
Chad
not
fine.
grew up-
racist. I'm not racist. Okay, thank you. No. So
Joyner
this is
Lucas
like
starts playing.
it's I love Joyner Lucas, man. No, so it's just like I just want to point out that it's very new to me to experience because I've only moved here in the past 2 years basically. So this is all kind of like relatively new to me. Even in college, like it wasn't really that diverse. But so I'm in a very diverse area where I have like my boss is from Iran, which is
Okay.
really
Wow.
cool, I think actually. And there's
Yeah, hell
other
yeah.
Iranians, there's other like there's Egyptian people, there's a lot of there's a couple Chinese people. There's one person from South Korea. My boss's boss is African American or black. My boss, like his boss, is from India. There's a bunch of Indian people. Like I'm one of like 4 white
For
people
the first
in my
time ever,
entire
you are
like
the
for the first
minority.
time ever. Like I'm unironically like a minority
Damn,
in
where the
my
fuck you work?
workplace.
United Colors of Benetton? Like what the fuck? It's like nah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like like I'm in a professional workplace. I feel like this is rather strange, generally speaking, for like a professional place. Like
I get
I'm
that.
trying to not, yeah,
I get what you're saying.
yeah. So but I had my first experience. So the one lady, she's like a cleaning lady. She's the kindest woman ever. She's so nice. I talk to her all the time. She's wonderful. But she was just kind of like cleaning up next to me. I went up to her, I talked to her, and she was asking me like, "Oh, like where are you from?" And I was like, well, I grew up in, this city or this town or whatever."
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, but like where's your family from?" I was like,
Uh
"My family's from Poland." And she's like, "Oh, really? Like I thought you would have been." I think she said Bulgarian.
That's unique.
That's weird.
And this was like the first experience that I had where someone was like, "Oh, but like where are you really from?"
Doing the
'Cause you don't
phrenology shit.
she literally was like, "You don't look," and she said she's from oh my god, I forget where. That's so embarrassing.
It's just part of
Um,
this weird thing where like a lot of those tropes continue, and because people think of them as pretty harmless, just like it's weird that people haven't figured out that like skin color and maybe certain other things are like the only directly identifying marks for like certain ethnicities. You know what I
Right.
mean?
so
Right. And
she's
let me
from
tell
El
you,
Salvador.
it's-
So she's
Okay.
from El Salvador. Her
Okay.
English really isn't that great. So she was
Okay.
kind of like asking like, "Where are you from?" Like she literally told me, she was like, "You don't look American." And I was like,
See, but in this, okay, let me
that is
tell
the
you.
that is the first time I've ever had anything like that. Like, and this is why I thought this would be a good segue because like I'm white, and to any other white person, I'm just another white person.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But to someone who is not white, like there is a difference, and it's okay, and it's like we're just talking about that. And she's from El Salvador, I'm from Poland, and like we're kind of talking about that, and she's able to like see that, and just kind of it was the first time that I was kind of like like, I don't want to say generalized because that's not the right word. Like, she wasn't being like
But
condescending or anything like
Right.
she
inquired about your
like
family
Racial
history.
background.
heritage.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Which is like, as a white person, that doesn't happen to me.
No,
Whereas I
that's what I was
think
gonna say,
as
Chad.
like anyone else of any other color, like that happens to them all the time.
Oh,
So I
when I
thought this was
had
a
yeah.
very interesting thing, and that's why I wanted to lead into this
Yeah,
conversation.
when I had much
Yeah.
longer hair and when I had my locks, because I was doing the metal thing, you got to be able to do
Yeah.
helicopter hair on stage and shit. People would ask me if I was Jamaican all the fucking time.
You just
Just
see
because you had
dreads and they
dreadlocks,
say
yeah,
Just because I had
Jamaican,
dreadlocks.
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. No, and what you're saying, Chad, though, that's like super unique on like two levels. First of all, I've never had anybody
That's what
ever
I'm saying. Exactly.
as a white person ask me where I'm from originally. Because I am the standard white American, where white people in America who've been here for centuries, where we don't have a unifying uh ethnic's not the right word, but some
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
nationalistic origin.
yeah,
You
Right.
are like a second gen immigrant
Like
from
both, like
Poland.
my whole
Both your
family's in
parents,
Poland. Half my family's still in Poland. Like I mean, I'm American.
right?
Like I was born here,
right.
but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm very much not also like I'm
So
Eastern European. Like
you had an answer. I would not have an answer. I'd say I'm short. Look at me. I'm Irish. I drink too much. I, you know,
yeah,
I would have a unibrow if I didn't pluck this shit every day. Like I'm Irish, clearly. But yeah, like otherwise, no. I'm just American. Like that's
Right.
really it. Like I don't have something like that. And for somebody who would normally face this kind of question, you just simply are not a white person. And it's like, especially for black people, where like assuming that your ancestors were like slaves, if you are
Oh,
in
they
the same
definitely
kind of,
were.
yeah, then you don't have an answer either. You're just like,
Oh
well, I'm
yeah, I
fucking American. I built this country more so than you did, even.
facts because
Like,
that's kind of where I had gotten to a weird back and forth while I was at the ice cream shop actually, because someone came in and they had the it was a black woman with her daughter, I guess, had the dashiki on and all that, and I had looked into like my what's the word, genealogy a little bit. I did ancestry.com just out of curiosity. It was mainly to I guess I'll get to that in a second, but this lady was like, so what's your background? And I was straight like, I don't know, like flat out, like I know that on my father's side that name comes from some Scots and it was spelled differently because we had been enslaved under them so long that it was through the period of time where black people weren't allowed to read. So the way that, and even to this day, there's members of my family in that lineage that spell it differently than how we spell it. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same last name and we're the same family. But also some this like German like person from like Alsace Lorraine area, like French Bavaria part of like Germany, owns the other side of that part of my family. And
Jesus.
I had, that was my father's side. With my mother's side, this is what motivated me to start digging in the first place, because my mother and like other family members have always been like, yeah, we have indigenous blood in us, whatever, because people comment on like my cheekbones and the fact that I can't get poison ivy. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, is this horse shit or is there something to this? And like, sure enough, my grandfather's mother was owned by either the Chickasaw or Choctaw, like from that area. And it was just this whole thing.
East Coast.
Yeah. Well, this is like Mississippi area, like that area.
Oh,
So
okay.
so yeah, it's because I'm not originally from Baltimore. My family is from because my grandmother was telling me about this because she was a slave herself. This is why I harp
my
on this
God.
on my stream so much too, is because the last person who was freed from slavery wasn't freed until like the late 60s. Like it existed well into what we considered to be more or less modern time. And my grandmother was the youngest of 10 kids. So she worked on the same plantation that all of her siblings worked on. her mother and father worked on. Her mother's father was enslaved and freed on, and her mother's father's father was enslaved on, born there. So
Jesus.
there's like at least like 3 different generations of slavery just on that one plantation, including my grandmother, and I'm only 1 generation away from that because they ran away when my grandmother was a little kid and moved to a different part of Mississippi, and then they ended up in Dayton, Ohio, as part of the Great Black Migration, and then from there, my parents, when I was really young, came here. So I was actually born in Dayton, Ohio, but I spent pretty much my entire life here in Baltimore. But
Right.
yeah, that shit and it's weird to think about because there's so many other intersections with that. Like my father's father was, or my father's grandfather, my father's mother's father was a World War II veteran. He got drafted. I know he's fucking pissed too because he was only 1 year away from being too old to get drafted. And like I saw his draft card with the word colored on it and shit. It's a wild trip. And
And that's
those
that's
people
not
over,
far
too.
away. That was 80 years ago.
Yeah.
That World War II happened. That he was drafted with the colored car. Like, oh my god.
yeah,
They
and
they fucked black people during World War II over so
oh yeah,
bad.
Red Summer. Yeah, Red Summer.
Yeah. It's so fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Look into that, anybody who's listening.
Basically, because Franz Fanon talked about this a little bit because he is from Martinique, about how when they went to France, like mainland France, how jarring it was that the locals treated their Nazi POWs better than them. And
Your grandfather that was in World War II.
no. Franz Fanon is another. He's like a famous like socialist.
I'm sorry. Okay.
He wrote a lot of stuff about colonized people, and the main 2 books that everybody cites that he wrote are Black Skin, White Masks, and The Wretched of the Earth, which I recommend people read. But yeah, that was his thing. He also died. He came here because he had leukemia, but he died in Bethesda. And like I want to say like maybe like 40s, 50s, or 60s or something like that. I can't recall.
Yeah. It's so like it's so interesting, and it would be like I don't mean this to be like a messed up thing to say, but like it would be so interesting and like kind of cool to research if it wasn't from such like fucked up origins.
Oh yeah.
Like it's so interesting, like
It's
family
enlightening.
lineage. Like no matter who you are, family lineage is just like
Oh,
the most
yeah.
interesting thing ever.
For
But just like it's so when you understand why these things happen, where your family is from, and my family too is like has some fucked up history with World War II being in Poland and
The Nazis.
can only
the
imagine.
Nazis.
I was just about to say because that's
really
what
interesting. Yeah.
because that was Andy Harris said that sus ass shit where he was like, we hate because the fucking Republican line about like hating communism, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
They talk about how many people communism's killed, but then he said the interesting part where he talked about how his father fought communists in Hungary in World War II, and then your eyebrow raises, and
Who
you're
the
like,
fuck would that be?
yeah, who is that, Mr. Harris? What army was fighting against the communists in Hungary during World War II, Andy?
Oh my god. That is so
Yeah.
fucked up. God damn it.
And of
I
course he
fucking
has like ties to Sebastian Gorka and shit, and it's just like, yeah, it's wild.
Dude, that's like the worst. I've been like reading about like basically trying to argue with like some like super hardcore right wingers, and like the amount of them that are like the Nazis were bad, but you know who was worse? The communists. And like when you think about it, the communists killed more people than the Nazis did, and the Nazis really like the death counts up for debate.
Right.
Like, who knows what the? And I'm like, dude, you are defending actual
Like
Nazis.
this close away from being
but,
like,
like-
actually the concentration camps had swimming pools. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you were literally
dude.
this close away from saying that, but you're just not quite. So you don't just get like fucking railed. By,
Right.
Like it's. Yeah, I mean,
Mind you, these
I
are the
don't
same
know.
fucking people who every time there's like a white supremacist attack on people of color, they're like, "Oh, it's a false flag." But then there's simultaneously the fucking people who like frequent 4chan boards and are sitting
Oh,
there
yeah.
saying shit like that about like the fucking Auschwitz had swimming pools.
Zyklon B was just delousing powder, like that kind of wild shit.
Dude,
Exactly.
with the Buffalo shooting, like last week, 2 weeks ago, the amount of people that I
Kevin.
saw online that were like, "Oh, this is too perfect of a white supremacist." Like, this is clearly an FBI plant because like
Oh my God.
no one is clearly gonna be this like
That cope
racist,
is so
like this
nuts.
clearly into the right wing thing. I'm like,
Right.
this is what we've been saying.
I like that.
Like you're being radicalized, like, and you're blaming the FBI for this.
Right. I was gonna say,
no.
like,
The thing is, you're like this ideology
It's
is
your
playing into
community,
that.
dog.
Yeah.
Like this is your people.
this is your
like, this is
people. Get your boy. Come get your boy.
seriously.
Fucking boy, dude.
And then
Right.
simultaneously, man, they're like, oh, well, like here's this one right wing shooter who killed this many people, but the media doesn't want you to know about these 200 mass shootings by black people. It's like, oh, God. Like,
It's weird because, like,
you're not defending that white
You feel
supremacist
fucking
guy,
dumb.
but you're also defending him by saying like, yeah, this is bad, but also look at these colored people.
yeah,
that
it's
we just talked about. It's
whataboutism.
like you're defending
That
that
cope-
guy. Like that's what you're doing.
That cope doesn't
I'm saying is
surprise
you-
me. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say if you're fucking offended by the idea of a white supremacist shooter killing a bunch of non-white people, if that offends you so much that you want to talk about like other race-related shit, then you are a racist.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, if your defense to a white supremacist mass shooter,
This should not hit
it's
home.
just, look at these black
hit
mass
home for
shooters.
you.
That's
Right.
not the right thing to do.
That's not what we were talking
Defending
about, bro.
that guy.
That's not what we were talking about.
Yeah, like, if that bothers you, if that irks you that people are shitting on a white supremacist mass murderer, that shit should not hit home. It
Right.
should not offend you.
At that level of cope doesn't surprise me because so if you're coping like that with January 6th, literally anything could happen and you'll cope like that. You know what I mean? Where they were saying that January 6th was done by Antifa wearing like Trump hoodies and shit. Like, yeah, cope. Just absolute cope. But also, that talking point is so common, like just a straight up whataboutism, because
It's so common. Yeah. You're right.
I won't drop any names here, but I'm sure you've seen me talk about streamers platforming specific people like Richard Spencer and stuff, and me referring to those people as fash. And some fucking dumbass conservative came into my chat to be like, I don't think it's appropriate to call this person fash because the things that they say, the ideals that they claim to espouse are not that. And I'm like, okay, so this person is with the fash, interviewing the fash. The fash are thanking them for a good job that they've done sanitizing their image. And they're engaging in fash behavior, doing all the same memes and shit. But I'm not supposed to call them fash because they said so. And the dude was like, yes. I'm like, okay, dude. We literally are like not even at the time. I was like, we're not even a week outside of a white supremacist mass shooting. Do you understand how silly you sound right now? And he is like, well, there's a violence problem, a political violence problem on both sides. And I went, okay, name me one left wing mass shooting. And everyone says the same thing every time. The Steve Scalise shooting, right?
Oh, the
and
one where he shot
The
senators,
baseball
right?
field. Yeah. And when first of all,
was it Gabby Giffers, right?
yeah, when first of all, nobody died.
That's in my show notes.
Fucking-
That's funny. First of all, no one died. No one died in that shooting. And second of all,
That's one.
that was like, yeah, I was gonna say that. What was that, like 5-6 fucking years ago? And we've had
Yeah.
like 26 mass shootings just this year, and a lot of them are white
Fucking
supremacist shits. Like
Charlottesville alone, dude.
Charlottesville, the Parkland shooter
will
was like a
not replace
4chaner. Yeah. Because that was the other thing, right? It's like we're horny as shit to fucking just get edgy clicks and views interviewing these people. When this conversation was had before. No one remembers back in 2016 when everyone, all the fucking major news outlets were horned the fuck up to talk to Richard Spencer until Heather Heyer got killed. Then suddenly everybody's tune changed. And it was like, my brothers, sisters, and siblings in Christ, you were the ones that normalized his behavior. Like, I don't know. It was really fucking frustrating.
Yeah. That shit's so fucked up. I mean, I don't know. The one situation
BLM shooters
in
based.
which I would interact with Richard Spencer, and I tweet this, so let the
One
record
Republican
show,
died
I've
from
tweeted
that?
this before. I've said
I
this
didn't think
before.
so.
The one situation in which I would interact with that man is in the fucking octagon.
I was gonna
I was
it's
gonna
the
say.
octagon. It's the
I'm
octagon.
confident I will fucking.
I was
knock
gonna
his
say,
teeth out.
cause with the whole, so with the band that I was in with the Nazis and shit, that was happening right at the same time. That was in like 2015, 2016. So I was gaining all of this, like I knew those people were out there, but I didn't understand how dedicated they were to actually getting involved in the political process and the amount of pressure they could actually apply. So after I had my run in, I became like low key obsessed. I had to know who all of them were, where they lived, what their job was. You know what I mean? So like, there's like Matthew Heimbach who tried to start the White Student Union out in Towson. There's fucking Kevin Deanna. There's all these people, and the Wolves of Inland. Just that group is out in Lynchburg, Virginia. I've been in the same room as the like leader, gang leader or whatever of that group. He's like 5'8" in real life. Shit's mad funny. But
I'm the master race.
well, that's that's their whole thing, because like, you know, they're the whole strength, the Operation Werewolf shit, the rewild yourself, dedication to strength and just
dedication to strength, and you're fucking 5'2", just
right,
tiny
yeah,
ass little,
right,
like,
masculinity, strength, masculinity, strength,
Little
masculinity,
man.
strength, like all this masculinity shit. You're roided out. You're so fucking vascular from the roids that like you have the belly, but you have biceps on top of biceps on top of biceps. And then when I see you in real life, I'm like you're like
Yeah.
under my chin. You know what I mean?
Dude, I listened to this this video on, I think it was on Reddit or something like that, and it was basically like a hacked phone call from this like neo-Nazi militia group or whatever. And it was, I forget where it was, so I apologize, and I forget the name of them, and I don't want to call them out anyways because I don't want to give them any attention. But
I like to give them
it was-
attention.
yeah, I mean,
It depends.
I
It depends on the
remember the
context.
name. Remember the names. Like,
Yeah. It depends on the context.
Yeah, but it was the phone call. It was basically like their like Discord call or like their Zoom call, like meeting afterwards. And they basically like went downtown to the city, and they took there was like a pride mural that they basically went over and painted over, and then put their like white supremacist shit all over it, and put their like militia tag on. And they were talking about it after, like the day after that, and they were like, it was so weird because it like, the way that they talked was like almost identical to like how our like when I was in Boy Scouts, when I was like 14, like they talk the same way that like our Boy Scout like troop leaders would talk. It's like, yeah, this operation went really good. Like normally we do something like,
They're incredibly organized. Like they're
Yeah,
incredibly
they're
organized.
So good
Like,
at rallying the troops too. They're so good at getting.
No. It was like the opposite. I mean, it was kind of, because they obviously had all these people, but it was like,
I was gonna.
hey guys, like I'm the leader, whatever, like pretend I'm the leader. He's like, hey guys, like, you know, we did a good job, we didn't have any issues, like, you know, we thought the cops were gonna come, and like no cops came and no civilians saw, and like that was really great. And you know, we really need to work on our paint work, because there was a couple spots that, you know, the pride flag still shone through the white that we spray painted over it, and we really need to work on like our detailing. And I was like, this is so like matter of fact, like I said, like this is like in a Boy Scout troop, like where we'd have like a fundraiser or something like that. Like, yeah, it went well, but like, you know, maybe we need to, you know, the kids are acting up a little bit. We're joking around too much over a serious matter. Like, we need to.
Weirdly enough, like
Yeah.
It was the weirdest fucking thing.
Yeah,
It's like
a
they're just so matter of the fact, just like next
yeah.
time we deface a public mural, we should probably like, you know, spray paint like 2 layers.
Well,
of white
that's-
rather than one.
that's
It's like,
how-
it was so weird.
That's how the Klan started. The Klan was MLM.
Yeah.
The Klan was mixed. Like there was like special sheets and shit that you would sell to other people as to be part of the Klan, and like that's how it's viewed now. It's like a social club. It's like my dad was in it, my granddad was in it, so I'm in it now, and we just, you know, burn our cross and then barbecue every weekend or whatever. Yeah.
You ever see the movie Django Unchained?
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
I was just
First of
thinking
all,
about that
that's like
movie.
one of my favorite movies. That movie's amazing. But do you
yeah.
know the scene where the KKK guys like come up in their fucking white sheets and they
Yeah.
all start
My
like
wife
arguing
made
about
this
like
for you.
I can't see.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, my wife works so hard." Like
That's
it's
really
like
what that shit is like.
they're complaining like
What's
they're about
all
to
y'all?
like their intention is to kill like a black person. And they're like complaining like, well, the sheet work's not that great. It kind of reminded me of like that exact scene. It was like so
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
we're about to
Assuming
kill this
they're
person and
fucking-
torture them and lynch them.
That's how.
But at the same time, like it's so like matter of fact. It was so
Oh yeah,
weird.
that's how
Yeah.
Matt Heimbach got discredited. It was like he was part of some scandal where like he was like fucking his father-in-law's wife or something. It was like literally in a trailer park too. It was the most glorious white trash shit you could possibly fathom. And yeah, he's been kind of out of the public eye for a minute. And
They're the master race. Yeah.
right, yeah. And I mean that was what was funny about Richard Spencer too, is that he got his fucking ass kicked. Because that's another thing. There's certain cities that they just can't straight up can't go because we'll deal with them. But he like got his fucking ass kicked somewhere, and it was that rant that leaked of him where he was like talking about how nobody would protect him because they're a bunch of fucking octoroons and shit, just like with the archaic racism, you know what I mean? That's what I like.
Yeah, the archaic racism.
That shit's cool for me. I got called. There was one stream I did. I was doing a stream talking about how fucking goofy Trump was, where I was doing like a January 6th hearing stream or something, and someone came in and called me a blue gum. I had to Google that shit. I'd never even heard of that before.
What? Say that again.
Blue gum. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, if that's TOS, but yeah, called me a blue gum.
I have no idea what that is.
I've
Yeah.
never
It's
heard of that.
old school Louisiana like slave trade talk where like
Jesus Christ.
you would look at the slaves' gums to see if they were healthy or not.
Jesus
See, but like
Christ.
that's exactly what you're saying though, right? Like this goes centuries back. Like there's shit
Right.
I've heard in Kendrick Lamar songs that I never fucking knew that was a word until I heard the song. Like this goes way back. It's like a social club for these people, right?
But
Yeah.
it's not even that far way back. That's the thing. It's like
not
Oh,
even
yeah.
it's not even that far way back.
in the
It's
scheme
like
of things. You're right.
Yeah.
Hell
You're
yeah.
right.
yeah.
Shit's fucked up.
Yeah. I mean that reminds me of like the Steven Crowder thing. If you ever
my
saw that
God,
video of
yes.
him, he was at some college and he was like just I don't even know what he was saying. Obviously some bullshit. And someone just like fucking socked him. someone
Nice.
someone just sucker punched him.
Yo,
And he was like
Fuck
It was,
yes.
it was a union worker. It was a union worker.
That's what it
at
was,
the
yeah.
rally.
Hey, based.
yeah. He's like
know,
he's like
like,
being the biggest fucking asshole and some union worker just socks him.
Hmm.
And he's just
Some
like he
fat
just
fucking
storms off,
Italian
starts
man.
crying. It's like, dude, like
Hell
He's
yes.
a pussy. That dude's a giant fucking pussy. I
That
mean,
guy's-
That's how you deal with those people. You don't debate them. You don't try to de-radicalize them. That's how you de-radicalize them if you don't know
you
them.
make him look like a pussy.
Yeah, if they're not your friend and you can't legit sit them down and have a come to Jesus conversation with them, if they're just like a total stranger, that's how you de-radicalize them. You whip their ass until they stop coming back or they change.
Their fans are gonna see that shit,
Right.
right? And they're gonna be like,
oh, he's actually kind of a
"Oh,
pussy.
this was the
Right.
big man in my head." But now, like, I mean, I don't know. He got his teeth knocked out by a fat Italian man at a union, rally. Like,
That's low key why the Proud Boys fell off, because they got their fucking asses kicked in DC around January 6th.
yo, dude, yeah. But these are like, I don't know.
Good times.
I mean,
Good times.
I
Don't know
try
what you're
to not
talking
be-
about.
I try to not be too rash with the fascist comments. Although I do totally think there's tons of fascist links between the modern Republican Party and
Oh, for sure.
fat
You got to make
lord.
sure that
Like-
because there's that aspect of it too, where there's people who are just propagandized, but like
Yeah.
there's a lot of true believers, and unfortunately, a lot of those people end up taking leadership positions, like within politics. That dude Kevin
That's what I
Deanna.
don't understand, dude.
Definitely.
Like, is it that easy to just become like
Fuck
a
yes.
politician? Like, are you just have to be like a fucking idiot?
Yeah.
Like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like
Yeah.
you just
Oh,
have
yeah.
to be an absolute
There's,
idiot, and then
like-
you're like
it's like-
why don't I just run for office?
Yeah.
Like why don't I just go be a politician?
Yeah,
Never
oh,
make
yeah.
it. You
That-
could never make it. You would
you
never
couldn't-
fucking
not
make
as
it.
a-
all I
yeah.
have to do is say some dumb shit.
I was gonna say, it's
that's
just like
it,
it's
and
like
that's
that
it,
episode
right?
that episode of Family Guy where Lois just goes 9/11 and everybody gives her a stand. Yeah, it's like that.
It's it, like it
If you're just
actually is
like,
that,
if you're
isn't
just
it?
like, I hate trans people, I hate gay people, I hate illegal immigrants, and
That's
I
it.
want to
That's all
reduce
it takes.
taxes.
Taking their hats off and
Yeah,
yeah.
See, that's my.
you
my
gotta be
ultimate
rich, yeah.
fantasy. That's my ultimate fantasy. Hit. Yeah. Okay. So being old and rich. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's assume we're both of those.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has dummy money from her. I don't
She
know what
does.
the fuck
From
she's
her
got.
dad,
Going on.
from her
Yeah.
dad.
Oh, from her dad. Okay.
We did a whole episode on her. Yeah.
yeah.
So, but that's my wet dream is become like a hardcore Republican and just be like a total asshole and get elected and then just be like,
Completely flip the script.
we need to stop the communists. We need to unionize to stop the
We need to
communists.
unionize. We gotta seize
And just flip it. Yeah.
We
Like,
gotta.
I just think that'd be the funniest fucking thing.
If we
And I
give
think it would
trans
work,
people rights,
too.
then if we give trans people rights, then we can see where they are. You know what I'm saying? Then they won't
Yeah,
come
yeah.
out.
track them. We can track them if we let them transition without any issues. We can track
this
them,
is-
and then we can say nice things to them later.
This is literally what we're doing with our Truth Social account. We're
Oh, dude, you would love our Truth Social account.
You would love that shit. Yeah, we're hopping on there and we're like,
Kevin.
some people are like, yeah, the fucking, where we go one, where we go all, blah blah blah. The elites are trying to step on us, and we're like, yeah,
Oh my
let's
God.
unionize, let's seize the means of fucking production.
I've
dog.
thought
Let's
about
do
doing that for a minute, like just doing
No,
like
no,
a
no.
grift,
That's
like
like-
doing like just giving my, like Jesse Lee Peterson or like Anthony Bryan
Yeah.
Logan. I just give myself 3 first names and then wear a MAGA hat and just say the most deranged shit I can think of in my car, like with my phone camera like this, and then just bag up. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I did is like I posted I made a Truth Social like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and we
Hell
both
yeah,
basically
Bronx
just posted
LT.
a bunch of like really dumb Donald Trump shit, and then just like added all of these like fucking stupid ass Republicans were like yeah, and then I searched through their followers and I found some like guys that were like they were not happy with Q, so they were like Q isn't supporting us anymore, and I was like yeah, Q's nothing but a corporate communist. The only way to defeat Q is to rise up with your coworkers.
We got to do
and
that
reach
now.
out to the NLRA.
I was gonna say
guys are work
we
for
got to
it.
do that with Nick Fuentes now. There's an opportunity.
Oh yeah, dude. God
Oh
damn,
my
fuck
God.
that guy.
I called that shit
People are
so
just
hard though. I
fucking
knew that shit.
stupid. So these people are just so stupid that like they don't know what they're actually saying. So
They-
if you make
they-
any
yeah.
bit of like actual logic, they're like, huh?
It's because
maybe my boss fucking me
your
every
brain.
single day is actually worse than Joe Biden, and maybe
They don't see
maybe
it
if I
that
have
way,
to say in
though.
my workplace. No, but you can convince some of them.
True.
Like I said, this one fucking veteran was like, "Yeah, I'm giving up on Q. I'm gonna contact my labor board like tomorrow." He literally said that to us. He literally said that to. He was like,
Nice.
he's ranting about
Hell
QAnon.
yeah.
He's like, they gave up on us. They're not real anymore. And like, I was just like, oh well.
the
we're just
bizarro
fucking- what if you
4chan
just
psyop, the
unionize?
reverse 4chan psyop.
It's like, dude, there was like and I got some nurse to do it too. Is like, it's.
Nice.
I
I
mean-
mean, convince people that other common people are not their fucking enemy. As soon as people are like, I don't know about you guys, but like, as soon as I learned what socialism actually is, compared to what I was fucking taught in school. I
Oh
was
hell
like-
yeah.
I was mad. I was actually
Yeah.
like angry. I was legitimately angry. I'm like,
There were so many layers.
God.
There were so many layers for me to peel back because I got super into the Black Panthers. So I was like, damn, how come they never really? They just told us that they were just like angry black people in fucking leather jackets and berets carrying guns and shit. So I was learning about what they did, and then I learned that they were fucking Maoists, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then I got, but you know, I'm a black anarchist.
It's ultimately why they were against them, because they were Maoists.
Right, exactly.
That's why they fucking
Yeah.
killed Fred Hampton, man.
Facts, because they were trying to form the Rainbow
He was an
Coalition.
ML.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. And well, that's just it, cemetery, dude. Like he was fucking successful with that.
Hell
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
He learned to,
So
like,
so they murdered him in his sleep. Like,
No, dude. I mean, this is
Low
where I
key
go
trying to
back-
unionize Twitch, but
Let's fucking unionize, dude. Streamers rise up, dog. But
High
like,
key.
no, like this is where I go back and forth with the class reductionist shit. Because would we consider the Rainbow Coalition to be some like a class reductionist shit? Because he talked to people that were like, in the fucking trailer parks, like people that would otherwise be probably racist,
Right.
and we got them to like, let's ignore skin color. Let's get together, talk to Latino
You
groups,
guys are
talk to
broke
other,
and nobody gives a fuck
right,
about you in the government. Let's
Yeah.
talk about
and
that.
they're
It's not.
fucking
It's not. It's not
proletariat.
black people that's causing that. It's
Right.
those guys up there. Yeah.
And I listen to him, and he inspires the fuck out of me, dude. I'm
Hell
fucking
yeah.
R.I.P. But like, he inspires the shit out of me. Him and Huey Newton, who you introduced me to, actually, Cemetery. But like,
Oh wow.
they inspire the fuck out of me. And I hear them talk, and I'm like, well, where do we draw the class reductionist line? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Cemetery. But
Like for me, it's wild. So whenever the class reduction occurs for me, when it's always, I won't say always, but particularly for me, it's been white people who are uncomfortable with the fact that they are not going to be leaders of the movement. You know what I'm saying? Like me, like historically, if you know anything about anything, you know anything about the Panthers, you know anything about like the coal miners and shit, you know that the backbone historically has been women and queer people, and specifically with like the Panthers and shit, it was black women, black queer people, fucking Stonewall, you know what I'm saying, Marsha P. Johnson and all these other people.
team,
Right.
right?
It's a team effort, and there's no real quote unquote leaders, but everybody has this weird ass fucking like main character syndrome where everybody wants to be Fred Hampton or everybody wants to be MLK or something. And it's just really weird. And the only reason I hazard that guess is because that's a criticism that gets thrown at me by people who don't understand what I'm trying to do. It's like people on Twitter will be like, this fucking guy thinks he's Malcolm X or whatever. And I'm like, nah, I really don't, but I guess. But
I
yeah,
feel like that's one of those things. It's
get
like
what
it's
you're saying.
it's power. Power comes to you naturally, and
Right.
it's not necessarily like if you're the one seeking power, it's not for you.
fact. It's just liberal shit where you're like,
Especially, yeah.
we have to talk. Oh no, I was saying it's just we have to talk about it from a class perspective and reduce everything to the problems of capitalism. When that's why I identify as a black anarchist, because I learned about people like Kwazi Belagoon and these others who got fucked over by the communists too. You know what I mean? Went to Cuba and got fucked over. Like went and saw that holy shit, like they have revolutionary practice and shit and they preach all of this shit, but this is still like fucked. Like this is still a fucked situation. So at that point you just become like a man without a country, to use a weird saying. But yeah.
That works.
I think that there's definitely usefulness in viewing, because I was talking about this last night too, and in terms of anti-fascism and viewing all of these people, all these marginalized groups as part of the same class. But like in terms of restorative justice, you necessarily like the thing like justice for we'll say like justice for a trans woman from fucking Soho is not going to be the same as justice for me. You know what I'm saying? Justice for an indigenous woman from Oklahoma is not going to be the same as justice for a Filipino man from Cali. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you kind of have to if you actually are about the community and on real fucking socialist time, you gotta be able to directly address the needs of the community on a case by case basis. And I feel like when you have rigid structures, a lot of that nuance gets lost in the noise, where you're trying to set up these systems that cater to everyone, but there's no one size fits all solution. So it's got to be a team effort.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna take you on a path because I'm gonna transition us into our show notes. Yes.
Let me
Yep.
let me
you're
let
welcome.
me say one thing
Okay.
real quick
Hell yeah.
before we transition, because I think everything he just said was really interesting. First of all, yes, I see the thing with the like white liberals being like offended by the fact that they're not the white savior now.
Right, exactly.
that's something that is threatening inherently to them, because if you've had privilege forever and you're now no longer like qualified for manager or, you know,
Even though you can't
revolution leader,
quantify it, you still feel like you're losing something.
yeah, you feel like you deserve that role as, like, you know, liberator of black people or fucking whatever bullshit you come up with in your head. And then at the same time, like, I hear what you're saying about like the needs for X group is going to be different than the needs for Y group. And like I do kind of feel like that's what's so brilliant about the Fred thing, because the Fred Hampton
Yep.
thing, because the Rainbow Coalition ship, because he just said, we all face this one issue. What if we rally together around this thing and then move forward from there? Because then you now these people that you worked alongside of that otherwise you would have been atomized from by media XYZ, and you'd view them as just a different group than you. You now are comrades, right? You're fighting together against the fucking bourgeois,
Right.
and like that in itself, I feel like paves some path towards intersectionality. Now, obviously, you have to be like cognizant of the shit the whole time, or else you let people like fucking infrared Haas.
Oh yeah,
and-
fuck that guy.
Or like fucking just like
hate that guy.
Those
he's
people.
perfect.
The interesting thing about those people, though, is that, like, as far as social issues, those people are still pretty what we would consider conservative. Like,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't be. I feel
Pretty
like,
patriotic.
yeah,
Communists killed a lot of fucking people of color.
killed a lot of gay people. I
A
feel
lot
like
of gay people. Anyone they didn't like, which is everyone.
that was actually Quasi Balagoon's criticism of the Panther Party towards the end, was the fact that he thought, from his position at least, because this was, of course, after Fred Hampton was assassinated and so on and so forth, that they lost the focus on like building dual power and addressing the needs of community, and focused more on the rigid like political structure, just to maintain the power of the people at the top. It became a
what's
cult,
funny?
basically.
You know what's really, really funny? This isn't really funny, but Kim Jong-il said the same exact thing about Soviet Russia.
That's funny.
He said, I mean, I think that is funny because it's like extremely hypocritical.
Because that's what I'm saying. It's like,
It's like, yeah.
Lorenzo,
He said
I
the
forget.
same fucking thing. He said the
And
same exact thing.
when they went to Cuba, they said the same thing about Cuba. Like,
Yeah.
Cubans are super racist to this day.
yeah, Cubans don't like Africans, from
understand.
what
Yeah.
my understanding anyway. But yeah.
I'm not Cuban, but from what I
And
understand.
we all know how much Destiny loves the N word. So
Oh, he is Cuban. He is fucking Cuban. So it makes fucking sense. I
Okay.
know there are tons of Cubans that are good people. I'm not saying that.
oh,
Right,
for
yeah.
sure, there's Afro-Cubans.
Yeah, literally.
I have
yeah.
a really good friend who his dad is from
luck.
Cuba and his mom is from Germany, and they're the sweetest people, but he does not talk about Cuba. He escaped and
Oh
does not
yeah, I
talk about
can't even
Cuba.
imagine.
anyways, so I'm gonna take us with a long stretch from that thing that you said earlier, where there's all these different groups that got basically persecuted and were treated like shit. And how do you basically make up for that? How do you treat them better? And there's no one size fits all, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna take that, and it's gonna be a stretch. So I'm gonna transition that to the U.S. Constitution and how.
Rig. Hitting a whale, bro. That whack.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm fucking broke. I'm a fucking proletariat, bro. I'm a service worker. I'm literally just hitting res right now. I'm embarrassed right now. I'm
Bro,
embarrassing
I
myself.
saw the
You're alright.
fucking.
Tell about your
butane
Delta
bird.
8 or whatever.
I'm picking up. I got the homies hitting the dispensary tomorrow, and so I put my order in and stuff. So hopefully the homies coming through tomorrow, maybe even later tonight. We'll see. But yeah, I'll be. I had to tighten my belt a little bit the last week or two. So
Yeah,
that
no,
meant,
I hear you. I saw the fucking butane lighter, and I'm like,
oh, this is
he's
for my
smoking
dab rig.
wax. He's smoking-
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's smoking wax out of a
Yeah.
bowl for some reason.
Nah, I'm just a disgusting piece of shit smoking res right now.
Dude,
Fiending,
hey,
just straight fiending.
it's all respect from me.
We've
That's
all.
all
I mean, like we've all been there, right?
Yeah,
We've
for
all
sure.
been there. We've all
For
been
sure.
there.
07.
07.
But yeah, the Constitution.
like-
what were we?
Okay. All right.
Before you saw me hitting the Black Death, what were we?
I'm sorry, I derailed
Okay.
that.
Okay. No. All right. So, the Constitution of the United States of America, right? So, fundamentally, this is basically supposed to be the system that you just criticized. That there is no one size fits all. Therefore, states should have the right to decide, generally speaking, how life operates in their own state, right? And there shouldn't, generally speaking, be a umbrella federal rule or laws that kind of impact everyone, because there is no one size fits all, like you said. So
I think that the role of the federal government, if it exists at all, should just be for infrastructure and like facilitating like stuff like fiber and diverting rivers, building track, all that shit.
Infrastructure, defense, and like that's it.
Well, if we're global proletariat, we're gonna have the global revolution, so we won't really need standing military.
Well, okay. So I'll preface this with I'm gonna take the argument here, not argument, but I'm gonna take the stance because we live in it of
I was gonna say if we lived
the current atmosphere that we live in,
I would feel that
we could.
I was gonna say I would feel that if we lived anywhere but America. We live like in the imperial core, like we're the fucking capitalist hegemonic power on planet Earth. So like if we were in, let's say like Spain or something like that, I would say fuck yeah, we need a standing federal like military because America's gonna come and bust our cheeks because they don't want socialist countries to exist, but. If we flipped a switch and America was communist tomorrow, we did land back, we did reparations, we did all that shit, then there's not really anybody who could fuck with us, I feel like.
We would still need a federal military though, right? I would assume. I mean, unless like you said, global,
yeah. If there was
just the United States, we still probably USSR, like they still needed their military.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, because of America. But like, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. Like we all the shit that we already have would probably be pretty decent. We wouldn't really have to do too much different. All the hardware and shit that we have. Yeah. I feel like everybody would be on the same page.
But won't you think of the military-industrial complex?
I know Raytheon stock is dropping, but
they're all down, dude. Fuck them. I don't care. Good.
I'll drink to that, brother.
Listen, I mean, this is kind of off topic, but I've been reading a lot about like companies that are not doing so we're basically entering a recession, right? The stock market is down substantially from where it was 6 months ago. A lot of companies, like the shareholder, like Intel, the company Intel, computer chips and shit, their shareholders, there's like 2.5 billion shares or something like that, and at least 51% of them voted not to give the CEO like $1 billion fucking dollars in payment. Because the stock, they lost so much money that they're like, we're not paying you for that. No.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's like I actually really,
because I wanted to get AMD stock right after Ryzen dropped, because I got I built my PC with Ryzen after the first generation of that dropped. Man, right? Yeah, fuck yeah, and their stock went crazy after Ryzen dropped. So
yeah,
it's like, let me get some.
I had some shares at like 20 or something like that, and I sold them at like 40, and now it's at 100. Whatever.
It happens. So it's gambling. That's what happens when you gamble.
I mean, that's true. But okay. So I'm gonna do like a little bit of a tangent speech here because I wrote this and I want to kind of lead into it because I have some questions here and I think that hopefully will be interesting topics to talk about. So constitutionalists basically are. The reason I'm going to go into more backstory before I go into this, the whole point of this is gun control, right? Because we've had all of these mass shootings that have been very, very high profile lately.
Right.
And everyone's talking about what the fuck do we do, right? And some people are saying, well, we ban all guns.
Boo. Okay?
And then some people are saying, don't ban any guns, give guns to teachers, which is, I think, also...
Boo.
Like those are both terrible options. I think. So I was hoping that maybe we could try and be like a reasonable voice.
I came at someone's neck on Facebook that posted that, and I was like, give the teachers guns. Why should the cops have all the fun with shooting black kids? Let's get the teachers in on it too.
What the fuck are you thinking with that kind of? Okay.
This teacher has to fucking literally come out of pocket to buy popsicle sticks for your grubby ass, dirty ass little fucking kids.
and you want to give him a gun.
Yeah, you think he's gonna drop $300 at least for a fucking canic to come defend your dumbass kid?
For a gun that doesn't have a fucking trigger, maybe.
Oh,
like,
nah.
You're talking like 700 at least
For like a Glock, but yeah, some of the shit that's coming out, like those canics, like the Glock clone and like PSA dagger and shit, they're a little cheaper. They're not bad. They're pretty decent from what I've been seeing.
Okay, I actually didn't know about those. So never mind, I take that back.
What is this?
Okay.
Pistols, like Glock clones. Yeah, like Glock 19 clones.
I'm a gun owner.
He's got a Glock over here. So I was saying that basically with all the mass shootings that have been going on, there's basically two fucking arguments that have been spewed, which is one, ban all guns, which Cemetery kindly said, boo. And then the other argument is give teachers guns, which Cemetery also kindly said.
That shit was, I don't know if you saw Elon Omar's tweet, but Elon Omar was like ban AR-15s, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
I don't support that.
Yeah, I don't. So my thing is like I'm an abolitionist by principle. So with that said, I am, like, I guess you could say, politically a conservative when it comes to government. Like, the less government, the better, because any laws, like any restrictions, will necessarily affect poor people and black people first and foremost. This is what's so frustrating about this is because we literally just had this fucking conversation about abortion like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, literally.
Where they're banning abortion and they're like, think of the black women, think of the poor women, think of blah, 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 blah. Cool. What's different about this? Yeah. Because who was it? Was it the Tops shooter who said himself he picked that area also because he knew that people there probably wouldn't really be armed like that? Like,
was it the Buffalo shooter?
Yeah, Buffalo shooter, yeah.
He picked that also because they were not white population.
Well, yeah.
It was a predominantly not white area.
So sir.
Like, well, I'm gonna probably get the most not.
I was gonna say, but no, I was.
Did you see the video of him like he runs into the grocery store and aims his fucking gun at a white guy, aims it at his head, and the guy like it's the most like
that's nuts,
insane thing. The
but
guy
I was
cowers and he screams with the worst scream I've ever heard in my entire life. He screams no, covers his head. The guy aims his AR-15 at his head. And he says, sorry, and runs off to go shoot some other fucking colored people. Like that is on. He did it on stream.
Oh yeah,
he
that's
aims
right.
it at this white guy's head. The guy is like, I'm about to die. Screams, tries to cower, and he's like, oops, sorry, and goes to kill some other fucking people that aren't white.
How are you gonna pretend that racism is dead? How are you gonna fucking act like?
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say earlier. Is like it's like sure, he was going to an area to do a mass shooting that was all black or mostly black, but that can be a real dice roll. Like, if you try to come here on that bullshit, I don't know how far you get.
Right.
So you got to go. Yeah,
that's true.
If minorities are armed, then like there's defense. You're not gonna fuck.
Yeah. For sure.
That's like the problem is like, I mean, we can get into this, but like I feel like in the world where everyone has guns, like if you don't have a gun, you're at a disadvantage. If somehow we were in Germany or something or UK where like there already weren't a lot of guns and then they banned them and they just got rid of like a gun is a very rare circumstance.
No, well let's follow that. Let's go with that.
It's too late for that basically.
I was just about to say
everyone already has guns. Like what are you gonna like?
Yeah, well that's what I was gonna say.
Everyone already has them. Like you can't just get rid of them because you're gonna just get killed.
I was gonna say let's follow that line. Let's follow that line. Let's go with that. Everybody has nukes now, right? We have nuclear proliferation. So you want everybody to give up their nukes, right?
Oh, no. I mean,
what happened to you? Wait, hold on. What happened?
You're right. No, I would prefer that nobody has nukes.
Obviously.
But at this point it is not reasonable. So
but I wasn't making a moral judgment on whether or not we should have nukes, but I was drawing a comparison because it's apt.
You're right. Because Ukraine gave up.
I was
their
just
nukes to
about to
Russia.
say, yeah, what
Yeah.
happened to Ukraine? Like,
Ukraine
Literally
gave
what I
up
was
their
gonna
nukes,
say.
and then Russia was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
bet.
you're not our puppet state anymore. We're gonna invade you." And
bet, yeah.
Literally, bro, and
Oh
people
my God.
cry about how Iran was trying to like.
Of course, Kevin
refine
FM. But what up with her,
uranium, and I'm
King?
like, so fucking what if
can't
Iran
blame
has
you.
a nuke?
Cannot blame them.
Yeah,
Like if
fuck
you
yeah,
saw
fuck
what
no.
happened to Iraq, if you saw what happened to Iran, if you saw
The
what
way we
happened to basically
splattered
all of
these
the Middle
fucking-
East,
oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
like
Fucking
most of Eastern
butchered
Europe,
their
if you
country.
saw what happened to these countries, like you're gonna say like that's what North Korea's doing. Like
Yep.
It's literally
they literally
Israel.
see what's happening to these other
They,
countries.
yeah,
They're like,
North Korea is
the
at least
only
going to
way we
pretend to
don't
have
get-
nukes. They're at least going to pretend to have
Yeah.
nukes. Whole T.
I'm not
It's
defending
really-
North Korea, don't get me wrong, but like
Oh, yeah.
they're clearly seeing that if I have nukes, I will not be at the threat of just being decimated by
Right.
like other powers.
Because that's
Whereas
why
if
North.
I have nukes, they're gonna probably not fuck with me nearly as
Yeah,
much.
that's why North Korea exists. Because Korea got fucking leveled.
yeah, during the Korean War, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Right, like,
that's
they-
interesting
they-
too. Is North Korea actually still thinks that Korea is one peninsula, and they still think that they're one
Oh,
country.
yeah.
It's really
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah, North Korea is the most interesting statist political system that exists. I think they're
It-
so weird. They're so interesting.
Yeah, it's that
Well, back
it's
season 3.
it's kind of a thing where like people romanticize, like Americans at least romanticize North Korea because they see that as like how it would function here. So like we were talking about like how we wouldn't really need like a standing military if we had global communism or whatever. That's like their vision of like based action of like anti-imperialist action like against the United States. So it's like cool, they fucking you would necessarily need at least whatever military structure that you have to be as fucking on point as possible. So make your entire fucking citizenship, like your entire country or whatever, part of the military, and make that shit like locked the fuck in. You know what I mean?
Militarized completely.
Yeah, so that's why they get cookies, but it's like I don't know if that's what we should be trying to do or like glorify because it's
Right.
Yeah.
How fucking
It's not-
primitive are we that
Right.
we're
It's-
gonna that every
What
yeah,
up, Freckle?
sorry.
It's not something that we
I
should
feel it.
strive for because like especially mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, I would.
It's not like we don't want to end the planet, but if that
Yeah, I
means
thought we were
that's
fighting
the
against
only way
climate change. Wild.
Like if that's the only way to keep your country and your people like your own, then like I can't fault that logic necessarily.
Yeah.
No, I can't either, man. That's what I was
Like
saying.
I don't
about
support
Iran.
that. Don't get me wrong.
Like at
I
least if
don't-
the oil companies make the fucking planet boil and the extremophiles and shit can still live, but if we nuke this shit, that's it.
yeah.
Oh man,
Right, like-
the three of us are a fucking recipe for disaster when it comes to environmental issues because Chad and I are already fucking like teetering.
Eco-fascists.
Oh, yeah.
Banned from fucking Twitch.
Listen,
But
there's
yeah, oh
there's
my
nothing
God,
that
I
will
agree.
make me an authoritarian besides the environment.
Wait, are you
That's
guys banned from Twitch? One of you was?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we've been,
Okay, all right.
I'm surprised that it's.
All right, because I got really worried for a second because I've been streaming on Twitch for like an hour and a half. I didn't know.
No.
Alright, cool.
Watching. I have you pulled up. You're
Sweet.
We're good. We're
I
good little
appreciate you.
boys. Don't
do
worry.
that too. Yeah. We always follow crazy shit that we say with in Minecraft.
Right.
So that makes it okay. Right?
Individual nukes for every human being in Minecraft.
I really.
Right. Like-
Give
like,
everyone
let's
an
chop up-
an AR-15
I
with
trust our
enriched
government
uranium
slightly
bullets.
more than like Kyle down the street. I don't trust Kyle with a nuke. I trust Donald Trump
safe.
slightly more than Kyle with a nuke.
I can have one. I'm allowed to.
Nuke France.
Sorry. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. You ready?
Just kidding.
You ready?
Your
Okay.
point
But
is
really.
taken. Your point is taken about nukes. Yes, I completely agree. This is why I've said, like, why the fuck are we surprised that Iran is trying to nuclearize? Like, it's fucking Israel has one. We fucking burn their country into oblivion, as we have all these other countries. Fuck, every Latin American country should probably want to nuclearize, right?
Right.
Because the way the CIA did them. But yeah,
If you don't want to
no,
get
I-
teabagged by one of the NATO powers, then yeah, you probably need nukes.
Exactly. Same thing with guns. Like, if you are in a already marginalized community, you probably ought to fucking learn to
Yeah,
shoot.
if you don't want to get
Yeah.
teabagged by some random 4chaner,
That's
should-
the beauty
should probably
of
get
shit.
comfortable.
Yes, dude. Yes, that's
At the very least, even if it's not like, because that was part of the group that I participated in. It was a group called Agus Baltimore that was run by black trans women that was focused towards firearms safety and firearms training for black people, trans people, and just like black and indigenous people of color. Really fucking cool group of people, really base group, people I really liked a lot. And it was a lot of fucking fun, just like hitting the range and going shooting. And
it is fun as fuck, right?
and having it be that, because a lot of gun culture is like very not based, like kind of fucking trash, low key. So
Maternity.
yeah, right.
You know, it's
The
usually like, yeah.
don't tread on me, fucking libertarians.
Yeah.
It's just libertarians that haven't. They're like this close. You know what I mean? They're like a fucking like they're like a nut hair away from being. Oh, what I want is socialism, but they're just like still whistling Yankee Doodle Dandy. You know what I mean?
Oh, Susanna. Yep. I hear you. I hear you. Yep.
I'm checking out your chat.
They're
they're calling me out for saying that I would trust Trump over Kyle over here with the nuke.
Chad's making fun of me. Chad does this routinely. We back at each other.
I'm joking. I mean, I don't trust either of them with a nuke. My point. I really didn't think I'd have to. I really didn't think I'd have to explain this point. But I just mean, like, my neighbor down the street who gets really aggressively mad if, like, someone turns their turn signal on and pulls out in front of them and wants to kill that person. I don't think that person should have a nuke.
Yeah, I was going to say,
my point.
You shouldn't give me a nuke because I will nuke France.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like, I'm joking. But
Minecraft, in Minecraft, it's the British, you know, they fucking...
I'm a guy down the street. No!
But I'm just so proud that all these people are so pro Kyle right now that they're gonna bash your ass for this.
I'll take this. Okay, whatever.
Give me a Kyle in the chat.
Yeah, but in all seriousness though, fucking I feel like marginalized people, whether we're talking about trans people, talking about black people, whatever, you should at least be comfortable around firearms.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying is, like, if we're in a country where there's like 400 million fucking firearms, like, you're not gonna get rid of them. Like, it's just a pipe dream to think that. So, like, I wish it wasn't this way necessarily, but it is. So,
I would prefer there to not be guns. Like, I enjoy, like, I'm a firearms enthusiast. You know? I fucking love Call of Duty, but I
would prefer that we don't have mass shootings.
Exactly.
But we do. So like, what do you like?
Right.
If the next best thing is like, prepare yourself just in case.
Facts.
At least defend your home, I guess. Like, and be responsible.
That's like the most important part of firearms training and ownership is like being responsible and understanding. It's right. Just fucking keep a point in the safe. Like, first of all, it should be locked up when it's not in use. Right. But just fucking keep the shit pointed in a safe direction. Be aware of what's behind whatever it is you're shooting at. Don't fucking touch the trigger unless you're ready to pull it. And fucking, that's like it.
Literally, because my fiance sometimes says, like, I don't like that you carry like a gun without, because I'm a Glock owner. She's like, I don't like to carry a gun that doesn't have safety, and I'm like, safety is not important.
It's really not. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you have the common sense,
the proper training.
If you're as serious as I am, or as either of you would be about this. I know you've shot, Chad. I assume you just said you've shot before too. So
yeah, for sure. If you're doing concealed carry, like, it's not even legal to do if you don't have a safe holster. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
So
I mean I agree with that. Like, it is fine, but at the same time, and this is me personally though, I would prefer a safety. Like, that's. Like, I just simply would prefer that. Like, I understand why you wouldn't, because it is perfectly, especially with, like you said, with the safe holster. Like, it's fine. But I would prefer
the mindset behind it was because I was the same way that you are, to the point where, like, if I didn't have a safety, I wouldn't even have carried it with one racked. But the thinking is, and all the gun tubers, all the fucking horned up white dudes trying to fucking get into gunfights on YouTube will tell you, those, like, every nanosecond, every millisecond counts when you're in an encounter. If you gotta pull that thing and you gotta use it, you want as little time between the shit popping off and you getting some rounds down range as possible. So,
but that's a training aspect.
Well,
because
yeah,
you can
exactly.
very easily, it's just a thumb. It's just a thumb. So like while you're,
but the thing
drawing,
is you're stressed out. Somebody's trying to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to have the coordination to, little pull and squeeze is easier than pull, flip, squeeze, or pull, rack, squeeze. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, the rack is gonna just.
So
like you might die. You might die.
Yeah, especially if somebody
because you can draw and press.
Well, because the other thing is especially
training. It
if
all comes down to training.
right, yeah, and if someone's on you, like they're like close enough to touch me, you know what I mean? If you're already in a kind of like scramble with them,
if they're close to you, yeah.
If you're already in a scramble with them, because at that point you have to, because then they might get it and use it, you know what I mean? But then that's the only. Yeah.
No, cemetery. You said everything.
I'm educated.
I can tell. I very much tell.
I fucking because it's not that I even really do a lot of the shit. It's just that because I'm so interested in it and I wanted to get as much training as possible in as many areas as possible. I'm aware of like all of the mentalities and even the different like the fucking the fucking IDF, they don't carry with one in the pipe because of that reason. If someone gets on you and grabs your shit, then they have to rack first, or they might try and squeeze and realize the shit's empty. Yeah.
IDF is actually great for. They're actually like okay. So I have so many problems.
Be right back.
Sure.
Obviously, but I mean I don't know about you actually, but I mean I have a lot of problems with Israel. But
yes, I have some issues.
Yeah, so I'm personally very, very pro-Palestine.
Likewise,
like to the death. But no, but the IDF. If you're talking, if we remove morals from the equation, and we just talk about like actual militant, like gun handling, they are kind of on point. Like the way they talk handguns, for example, since that's kind of the topic we're on right now. Like they say like you know how like typically in the U.S. like you're taught to shoot a handgun, like this, like two hands,
right, ready position. Yeah.
Like a fucking cop would, right? The IDF says it is called a hand singular gun, not a hands gun. Because so you should be able to fucking shoot that shit with.
Oh yeah, hand. That's I've seen.
You're in a combat situation, dude. I mean, you're not gonna have. There's a high likely fucking hood that you are going to have to.
That's even something I've seen people practice doing, like train doing. Is
I do that.
I was gonna say I forget what the dude's, but he's like an ex-cop or whatever. But so he calls it single-handed manipulations, where you're using the because he's like anything could happen. You only have one hand free, or you've already been shot, don't have use of your arm, whatever. Mm-hmm. You got to rack or reload or whatever. You got to clear jam, whatever. You can fucking use your red dot to rack the slide. You know what I mean? Put it against something, and that's like one of the things that he does when he reviews red dots is like, if you have to do that, will you still have? Yeah, if you have to do that, will you still have 0? And what's your glass gonna look like? And yeah.
Oh, I hear that, man. I mean, it's like I mean, I'm not good enough of a shot. Do not rely on sights. Like I absolutely need the sight if I'm gonna shoot accurately. Like I know people. Like one of my coworkers, he's like, yeah, my dad like does tack competitions and shit, and he like his sights fell off, and he still like won because he just knows the gun. I'm not like that.
Yeah, that requires way too much ammo that I do not have money for.
Exactly.
Tegma TV was asking me what the thoughts on the SRA are. I fuck with the SRA, at least Maryland's SRA, because coincidentally enough, the training organization with the black trans women that I was talking about, the range that we went to. This is a funny story. So we went out to the range, and this range is like associated gun club, so like a lot of cops and shit go there, and
Yeah.
it's just a gun club, so it's gonna be Chudley regardless. And
By nature.
right, yeah, just the nature of the beast. And they're wearing like Smash the Patriarchy, like windbreakers and shit. And I'm like, this is based, and I'm here for it, but I'm kind of on edge right now because there was these other people in the range, and so this black guy comes up to us, and I'm like, fuck, because we had already had like black like ex-police officers and shit come up to us before. But turns out he was one of the like organizers of Maryland SRA, and we ended up shooting with them for a minute, and it was really fucking cool.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard about SRA, but I don't know. I've never like spoken to an SRA person.
Yeah, they seem, at least I can't speak for, because it's a regional thing, I guess, but Maryland's SRA was really fucking cool. I'm not a member yet. I just don't have the time to go, and ammo is fucking expensive right now, but I just don't have the time to like
right
go to the range and put that much work in, at least now.
Thanks,
If we
Joe
ever
Biden.
meet IRL, we'll shoot. That's what I'm gonna say. If we ever were to meet IRL, the three of us will shoot.
For sure.
Yeah. Not in Maryland, because shit's fucking.
Maryland's
I'm
gun
not-
laws suck.
They suck bad. I'm from not Maryland, but also northeast.
Do
Okay.
you have a concealed carry permit?
Me? No, I don't. I don't conceal carry or anything like that.
Okay.
I do.
I was looking, like, you have to take it.
I stayed.
I-
This is
so-
gonna be,
it's so easy here.
totally against what I'm gonna say in like 15 minutes, but you have to take like a course
Yeah.
to get a concealed carry.
Here-
And while that's a good thing, it's bullshit.
Right. Here you have to, just because of Baltimore and shit, you have to take a course to even get a license to own or purchase a handgun. And then after that point, the concealed carry works is, because I kind of looked into it because I was curious, but basically you talk to the sheriff's office and you tell them everything revolves around like the sheriff's office, the new ghost gun laws that just passed. If you want to stay legal, you have to talk to them. You have to be like, hey, I have this, I'd like to serialize it. They're aware of it. They write down whatever serial number you make or whatever identification you make. But with the concealed carry license, you have to demonstrate to them like why you need the shit. And I think it's like over a certain dollar amount, like $5,000, something like that, which I hit at the time
Insane.
because
You have to take a class too, don't you?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
an
yeah.
actual course. Yeah.
right. And because I was playing music, so I was like, yeah, between the guitars, the guitar gear, drums, all that shit, easily, I'll hit $5,000 easy just driving around to gigs. So I thought about it.
Do you mean like income or like taxes you have to pay?
No,
Or what do you mean
like,
by
so, like-
$5,000 limit.
Assets. So like the car itself.
What?
Yeah, like
You have to
Carrying-
own $5,000 worth of just shit.
no, like, so
no,
say
no,
for
no,
example,
no,
like if you have,
carrying.
like if I'm carrying and I work for like a garage door company or something, I have to explain to them that the reason why I need to conceal carry is because I carry at least $5,000 worth of shit with me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is your life isn't relevant to that?
No, absolutely not. It's just a barrier to entry
world,
to,
dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what I was gonna say. It's like this is nothing but like
It's
fuck
just
work.
it's just a
Okay.
rich barrier to entry.
Cool. That's
world.
cool. That's
And
really cool. I
that's-
like that. That's
That's
nice.
my fucking problem, dude. Because like we were talking about this off stream, Chad, but like I'm not opposed to licensing to own a gun, right? Like I'm fine with that. Because
Yeah, I
like,
feel that, Frackle.
You need a fucking like car to live your life, right?
Right.
And we are totally comfortable with like licensing a car, but like the caveat I would pose is that it needs to be easily accessible to get your license to carry a
Yep.
gun. It needs to be not paywalled hard, right? Like you should be able to spend $20 and get your license to own a gun, carry a gun, XYZ.
Or maybe
I'm
even
gonna
it's
transition
free,
us back into these notes that I
Or
made.
free, or fucking free, yes.
but just you have a certain number of hours that you have training or whatever, like a card or something. I don't
you
know.
just prove competency and maybe take like a psyche.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
like,
what I always say is like like that is common sense, right? Like that's what I would argue are like common sense laws. But then you have the stupid ass Democrats who are like, common sense laws is you can't have anything larger than like a fucking, you can't have an AR-15.
Just like,
that's
yeah,
common
weird,
sense. It's
yeah.
like that's
It's the
not
dumbest shit ever.
like that's not common sense is like, make sure that if you get a gun you have training, make sure that you have a lock that comes with it or something like that,
because the other
make sure
side,
you have a safe place to store it, like make sure
Just
there's
have
no
basic
mental health
gun
issues,
right?
like,
Yeah,
make sure you haven't been in and out of rehab 10 times and that you're about to kill your family or something.
right. Because
Like,
this was
like,
was the other
these
point.
are all things that would be common sense to me, not like
Oh, yeah,
ban
for sure.
AR-15s because it's common sense. Like that's not.
Bans in general, because this was another point that I made last night, is just like, I mean, I already said it here, is that that's only going to affect like poor people and black people, so on and so on.
Yeah.
But like, just like, I basically had to tell people, like, fam, Nazis are always going to have crazy guns, and you just need to accept that and deal with that in life. Because some of like really, really rich people are white supremacists, and like, I know everybody saw Sons of Anarchy, like. Their access to crazy guns will be unfettered no matter what happens, because the shit's already manufactured, so it already exists. It's already here.
Dude, my brother. I don't know if you've ever lived in like a state where they do like gun raffles. You pay $25.
That sounds so
$5
fucking
a ticket.
insane.
You paid 25. My brother did this.
So here, have a free gun. I mean, I would love a free gun, but that's
would
nonsense.
too.
It's nuts.
It was a, you know what an MP5 is?
Yes.
Like military. So he won one of those.
Jesus
Put
Christ.
$25. So that's 5 tickets into a fucking barrel of tickets, and they pulled his, and he won like a $4,000 MP5. Granted, semi-auto, not full auto.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can print,
But it's- but
you
it's-
can
but it's
3D
a-
print MP5s now.
Receiver's the hard part.
So-
So, you can 3D print that.
Yeah. So he won like a MP5 semi-auto basically. It's like a $4,000 gun. and
Oh yeah,
what
actual
did he do?
H&K is like expensive as fuck.
He put $25 into a raffle, and then they were just like, "Hey, this guy
Yeah,
won."
that's nuts,
My brother's
Globus.
name. You won. They posted on Facebook. This guy won. Come pick it up.
Hell yeah,
So
it's
he
like-
drove by like a week later when he happened to drive past the place. He walked in. He said, "Hey, I won this gun," and they're like,
Here you go.
"Okay, here you go." And I was like, did they like check your ID? Did they check for a ticket? He's like,
Yeah.
no, they just gave it to me. And I was
I've
like,
always wondered about that, because I've seen like
fuck?
I watch like,
Like-
classic firearms and shit on YouTube and shit, and it's like they have gun raffles, and I'm like, how the
Yeah.
fuck you're just like mailing some rando a gun? Like you have like,
Yeah.
here's a fucking
you have $25. You
Yeah.
can get an MP5. That's
here's
like,
here's a sweepstakes. We're trying to get engagements. We're trying to boost the channel. So here's a $12,000 fucking Barrett 50 cal with the full magazine. Leave a like and drop your name in the comments, and if you win, we'll mail this shit to you. And I'm just like, huh?
like,
Yeah.
shouldn't you
Yeah, dude,
like
yeah.
check? Like that's what I'm saying should
I
be
have a
common
gun
sense.
raffle.
Like you
Yeah.
should probably check that person who wins first, right? Like,
I
Right.
have one on Facebook, dude. I have literally a group on Facebook where like it's like if you put $10 in, you have like a 1 in like what 50 chance of winning a fucking like.
Kyle, you know, our one friend. I'll tell you his name
Okay.
off stream, but he won an MP9 like last week. He sent
That's
me a Snapchat
fucking
of it.
ridiculous.
Oh,
He
please
just
tell me
won
who
an
that
MP.
is.
He
I
won an
don't-
MP9. You know who it is? He's the Northwest guy,
South-
the guy who
or,
smokes cheeses.
Yeah, okay, I know who that is. Yeah. Okay.
He's a country guy. He's a country guy.
That sounds
He sent me a
lit. I was
Snapchat,
gonna
he
say,
just-
that sounds kinda
he just won
based.
an MP9. I was like,
Yeah. Oh, dude, smoking cheeses. Hell yeah. But yeah. Anyway, that's crazy, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
Globus. I don't know how to say the name. Globus the Elder. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fire halls they'll do fundraisers where everyone puts in $5 a ticket and they buy a couple guns and they make $20,000, spend
raffles.
$10,000 on guns. give them
I've
out.
seen the
Like,
meat raffles. I've definitely
I've seen
seen
meat
meat
raffles,
raffles
yeah.
and like bull roasts and shit, but I've not. I guess because it's Maryland,
You're
and
not
it would be too
country
much of a
enough,
pain.
that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not south enough. I'm not far enough south. They probably
dude,
got them
no,
shits
this
out
is
Carroll
north,
County or
man.
something. Oh
I'm
wow.
north.
Oh yeah,
I'm
Pennsylvania.
north
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
basically
north
the
of you,
South.
but-
Some of these parts.
Yeah, Pennsylvania
Oh
is
my
wild because it's literally the north, but it's still the south. It's kind of crazy.
People
Pennsylvania
fucking they
is
have
actually
Confederate
wild.
flags like northern PA. It makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Right.
Like,
Dude, I've spent
you
so
guys
much
are
time in
idiots.
Pennsylvania. Dude, I've spent so much time in that fucking state. Where like I've literally seen that, Chad, the Confederate flag, and I'm like, where are you from, dude?
Yeah.
Like
Chambersburg, Pennsylvania.
And like,
yeah, literally some shit
remember
like
when
it.
your family slaughtered the Confederates?
Right. Like some Chambersburg fucking, which I feel like
I love Chambersburg.
that's like civil. Is that Civil War territory? Is that like towards
It is.
Is that where
Yep.
Gettysburg is?
Yep.
Okay,
It's
cool.
close to Gettysburg.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
guys
so-
fucking remember Gettysburg? Remember when we
That's what I say. That's what I
slaughtered the
say.
fucking Confederates, man? Are you kidding me?
Remember when your grand fucking daddy, you know, the guy that you probably worship, fucking slaughtered the dipshits who fucking flew that flag?
Remember
You
when
have,
he
like, a
fucking blew a hole the size of a small tangerine in a fucking Confederate soldier because he was shooting fucking
In his
50
face.
grain fucking musket balls at him with an
Like a
unrifled
dipshit.
smooth barrel?
Ridiculous.
remember when
These
he-
fucking idiots, man. Dude, have you ever been to Gettysburg?
Yeah, I've
That's
seen
not that
it.
far from you. Yeah,
It's-
Gettysburg is like
I haven't
went
like
there last summer. Like they have like a whole memorabilia store.
I had a
And
really
it's all
really
fucking Confederate shit. And like there's kids going in
Yeah.
with like they're like 16, 17 with like Confederate flag lanyards on their keys. And like,
Yeah.
That is
oh
like
babe, do you
freaking
like this
Nazi
Confederate
flag.
flag hat? Should I get this? And you're like, oh yeah, babe, you look so cute. It's like, you
Bro,
fucking
that's
idiots.
literally
Like, it's
literally the
so
same
just
shit as
stupid.
going to fucking Poland
and getting
or-
Nazi
or
shit,
fucking-
yeah.
Yeah, like carrying a
Yeah.
that's going to Auschwitz, the gift store, and having like a Nazi flag on your shirt. You
Yeah.
piece of fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolute idiots.
I've never like gotten out and like walked around and looked and shit, but I had a really really close friend, my best friend, and for like 5 years would go back and forth to Chambersburg, and we would cut through Gettysburg sometimes, and it was cool just like seeing all that shit. And her father actually was he was a like reenactor. He was really fucking cool. I love that guy.
Those sound really cool actually. I would like to see one of
he
those.
was a Confederate reenactor.
Gettysburg's actually like it's really gorgeous.
It
It's like
is.
it's such a shame knowing that like I don't even know how many people died there, but like
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah.
But like
Way,
you just
it's
kind of
rolling
drive
hills.
through it and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's so stunning. And then you just realize like, oh, right in that spot 500 human beings were massacred.
Right.
It's like, oh my god.
Like,
Dying
And
from
they
like
have the signs
gangrene.
there. Yeah, they're like right here at this point on this hill, like the 72nd Battalion of North Carolina lost like 1,500 soldiers or something like that
Fucking
in
A.
like 15 minutes or something like that.
That's nuts.
And you're just like,
They're
and it's-
shooting
and
a
it's
fucking
gorgeous.
cannon with grape shot and like chained together bolo shots at you through it. That's some of the most
it's
terrifying
so
shit I
fucked
could
up.
imagine.
It's so, oh my god. I can't imagine what warfare today I feel like is utterly
It's pretty
terrifying.
scary, but it's like it would be so quick. Like a drone just flies over you and it's over, or like
Yeah,
you
you
get
just
hit.
explode.
But like this fucking cannon is shooting a fucking a steel bowling ball chained with
Yeah.
a 6-foot chain to another bowling ball, and just like mowing
And
down
just
your
cut-
entire
it just
battalion.
cut, like
Yeah.
30 people in half.
Through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meant to
Like,
go
oh my
through
God.
people. It's meant to rip you. Yeah, like and meanwhile you're standing in like a straight fucking line because if there's anything Americans didn't fucking learn
'Cause-
from goddamn Revolutionary
Right,
War.
because the fucking
It's not a line, man.
yeah, the Africans and the fucking indigenous people haven't taught you how to do real war yet.
Literally, they didn't even fight. That's why we got our ass wiped in Vietnam, dog. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just like
You don't win home games. You don't win away games.
exactly. You don't even win home games because you're still gonna line up. You're still gonna line up and fucking shoot at each other like dipshits. Oh my
Christ.
god, almighty.
There's people flying Confederate flags in Canada. Wild, but not surprising.
It's not surprising,
If
unfortunately.
I
That
see
shit
a
is wild.
Canadian with a fucking Confederate flag, I will whoop their fucking ass on sight. If I hear you say house and you say house, I'm fucking taking teeth out. The second I see a Confederate flag on you, if you can't pronounce house, I will fucking take your teeth out. You
Yeah,
cannot
that
buy
shit's
shit.
fucking
You don't
crazy.
even- You don't even have the "I'm stupid" and American excuse. You are just racist.
You're just a
You
piece
are
of shit.
just as racist as it gets.
But extremely stupid as well, because you're flying a Confederate flag in Canada.
Literally. Fucking Christ.
I wonder if the War of 1812 actually played into that a little bit, because the England and attacked through Canada, I believe. And they remember how they destroyed the U.S. Capitol in 1812.
Yeah, they burnt it down.
I don't know.
And they had to have slaves rebuild it again.
Yeah, that was cool. Every time I say that's cool about something that's really fucked up, I want to clarify I don't actually.
Right? Yeah.
Like I just want to cover all my bases. I don't actually mean that's really cool.
This conversation, I think, probably
It's cynical.
gave
Yeah,
context
yeah.
to that. Yeah, like it's fine. Yeah, I don't think anybody thinks you're a racist.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I mean, maybe this is just me, but I feel like every time that I have to have something to say about any sort of like racial disparity or anything that you talk about, really, Cemetery, like I feel like every time I comment, like I don't want anyone to be like,
Oh, yeah.
that white guy is just saying.
I was gonna say,
I don't want to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't give a shit, but it's the internet,
No,
so
I know,
someone
but yeah, it is
somewhere
the
will take
internet.
that shit in bad
Yeah.
faith. Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm being a dumbass when I say it, but also I don't want someone to be like, oh well, this guy's like supporting this. And like, that's not what I. Obviously, that's not what I say. Yeah.
Hogs and Men is,
Yeah, that's
for
true.
everybody
DC Metal
right
Chris.
here.
DC Metal Chris is DC Metal Chris said that where Nazi symbols are banned, Nazis fly Confederate flags instead. I know that about Germany, and people do that in like Sweden too,
Are you serious?
and Finland.
no
Yeah.
shit. That's
What is
crazy.
with like
I'm gonna get a beer.
like what is with like other countries that are not Germany wielding Nazi flags, because they slaughtered your
African
people.
immigration.
Like
It's literally just like Somalian immigrants and stuff that they see in there. Like how we feel about like Mexican immigrants and shit. That's like how they feel about like Syrian refugees and like Somalian refugees and shit, and like refugee camps. And all
okay,
that shit.
so it's not necessarily about like I'm a Nazi. It's more like I'm anti-immigration.
Well,
kind of, and they're
the
kind of
Nazi,
like,
well, so America's different because it's literally like a colony, so there has to be that aspect of white supremacy. But if you ask one of them in their lands, it's altruistic, like I'm defending my people, like the same rhetoric that they use against like illegal immigrants or like undocumented immigrants here, of like treating them like an invading army and crazy shit like that, when they're literally just people fleeing for their fucking lives. They like, and they have all the same tropes. Like they talk about like roving gangs of like rapists, like Sharia law Muslims and that kind of shit that come through. Just really fucking gross, like wild shit. Scandinavia is also pretty
but that's the
homogenous.
thing. So that's not necessarily. Again, I'm going to preface this because I'm not defending these people, and I feel like I have to say that. But that's not necessarily defending Nazi ideology. It's more kind of extrapolating that forwards towards the next group of people or something.
For
like that.
sure.
I mean, you're still representing that, but it's not like they're like all Jews should be massacred or something. It's like we just don't want immigration, I guess. So, cause, like,
I mean,
I'm thinking,
that was
like,
the Candace
'cause my
Owens
family's-
take. The Candace Owens take. The reason why Hitler was fucked up is not because of anything crazy. It's because if he just focused on making Germany great again, it would have been chill. But he had to overextend his reach.
And the convenient fucking thing about that is, the platform is pretty similar to some shit we're seeing right now, which is our country's under
What up,
attack
Selassie?
from within,
And yes.
it's a fucking tiny group of the population who doesn't look like the most of us. And these are the people that we're going to
Neo-Nazis, if you
Their
will.
culture's not like the most of us, like fucking
Yeah.
literally right now, like how much of the fucking Republican platform is anti-trans, anti-gay,
Right.
anti.
It's all the same notes.
Yeah, or
I would say, like,
even fucking Tucker-esque, like fucking gonna
Great replacement.
casually hint at the Great
Yeah.
Replacement like every fucking 2 weeks. Like it's crazy to me. This is baked into the fucking cake for these people. I swear, dude. It's like I don't.
It is.
I don't know.
It is, Chris.
Makes
But
me
like
upset.
I just it still astounds me that like I said, my family is from Poland, and there are neo-Nazis.
Chris, are you in
Poland.
town? You want to get some
even
food?
Ukraine. The whole argument against Ukraine is like, well, we're denazifying Ukraine, and like, while that's bullshit, obviously, but
Right.
there are Nazis in
Oh,
Ukraine,
yeah,
just
Azov
like there are in
Battalion and shit.
Poland and Germany, and like it's not a lot, and it's obviously overplayed,
So,
and it's obviously bullshit.
it
But,
was a
but
weird.
that doesn't mean they don't exist.
Right. I was
But
gonna say.
how can you possibly? And I understand that it's a neo-Nazi, like I don't know how to pronounce her name, Selassie, I said, but like they slaughtered your people.
Right.
They
So.
slaughtered your family.
So here's the
Like,
thing.
how can you?
Because it's actually an interesting intersection with Ukraine specifically, because I have a friend who's like very similar to you with how you're essentially like Polish. His family is pretty much Ukrainian. Like he has family members still in Ukraine. Like I like have to remember to tap in with him from time to time to make sure he's doing all right. But essentially,
Is he living? Sorry, is he living there now still?
no, he lives in the
move out?
States. He's
okay.
he is American, but
Yeah.
his family is essentially
family's
Ukrainian.
there.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
Ukraine.
But we had a conversation specifically about this because of have you heard of NSBM, National Socialist Black Metal? So
I think
there's
through you actually.
yeah,
but-
probably just
Yeah.
the crib notes for everybody watching and stuff. There's a specific subgenre of metal music. It's a subgenre of a subgenre. There's metal, then there's black metal, which isn't all inherently Nazi shit. But there's a specific genre called NSBM, which is straight up like they have swastikas and eagles and totems and shit on all their like they're straight up neo-Nazis. And because of how you have to treat those types of people and that types of material, there is certain nationalist shit that people can do that's from that area that can become sus. This specific band was a band called Drudek, I think is how it's pronounced, that a lot of Nazis really fucking loved, and they were lumped in with NSBM because they had nationalistic sentiment. And I guess had written shit about Stepan Bandera, who collaborated with the Nazis. But the thing that was explained to me with my friend was that Ukraine has always had to fight for their independence, whether it was from any type of surrounding nation or the USSR or whatever. So just by virtue of that, the people there are going to become very nationalistic, the same way that part of like North Korean Juche is like this idea of like a perfect racial like North Korean person. It kind of
Really
comes
good analogy. Yeah.
yeah, it kind of comes a little bit from that. But also the fact that the people get called Nazis because like Stepan Bandera collaborated with the Nazis to purge like the Jews from Ukraine, but he himself was also thrown into a fucking concentration camp because the Nazis didn't fuck with the Slavs. They were still considered Slavs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they don't
Yeah.
like Slavs.
Yeah,
don't like
they
Slavs,
do
yeah.
not like
Gypsies,
Slavs.
They don't. Romani, you know.
Yeah. Because gypsy is a slur. Yeah, but yeah. So just because of that complicated history, they kind of have that nationalist, that not quite ultra nationalist bent, but that element can be there, and that's how you end up with shit like the Azov Battalion and so on and so forth. And
Well, that, yeah.
and also.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, because people are always confused, like, didn't they elect a Jewish guy? And it's like, we elected a black president. So it's like, yeah.
But that's
Yeah, well, and that,
Again,
that's
I don't wanna
just
say
the
this.
point, dude.
go ahead.
That's just the point. Like, because we literally, like, yes.
Oh, so they are a Nazi band. Okay, never mind. Yeah. That's why I fuck with you, Metal Chris, because you know about the shit than I do. They share members with another band called Hate Force, which is like an
DC
actual.
Metal Chris, man.
I fuck with DC
Right.
Metal Chris. Let's get some vegan
Yeah,
food when you come up
DC.
Saturday.
Yeah, like, but like, yes. I mean, I think you're dead right. Like fucking, we have had a black president in the U.S. That doesn't mean that the country is like totally not racist.
Post-racial utopia, yeah.
Yeah, this is fucking.
Despite what a Republican will tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Chad, I'm sorry.
I think it's no. I was just gonna say it's so that's essentially nationalism, which I think especially both of you as anarchists are gonna be against because
Yeah.
nationalism doesn't really fly with anarchism.
So yeah, I was
Black
gonna
people-
say black nationalism appeals to me in terms of its power and organization, but I'm actually not a huge nationalism fan at all.
Yeah, I would
Is it-
guess
but,
that.
like,
Yeah.
I guess as a white person, I feel like I can understand in a weird way. I can't understand, but like I can sympathize with the sense of like as I can view myself as the proletariat, I could be a socialist and
Right.
maybe
That's in itself a
maybe
form
you
of
as a
nationalism, I guess.
Right.
yeah, so like you as a minority could like see other black people and be like, yeah, you
Yeah.
know what, let's
We
because
have
it's very,
some common experience
yeah,
This is where it all
universally.
gets so tricky. It just gets
Right.
so yeah.
complicated, yes.
But I mean, I guess what I was gonna say is like you see that even with the like Slava Ukraini, which means glory to Ukraine. Like that is, like you don't say glory to the United States. You don't say glory to Germany.
You say God
Like,
bless America.
God bless America.
okay, that's true. That's true. Fair enough. Yeah, fair
God
enough.
bless the US.
But I guess that's a
Say
that's
Germany
a form of
über alles.
nationalism.
Deutschland über alles.
I don't think they still
Do they do? They don't say that
that.
anymore.
I'm not sure.
Surely they
I don't
can't.
actually know.
Or they're not allowed. Like, because they
I
fucking
feel like
did-
they probably don't. I
They
took
did
German
such a
classes and
number-
I can't recall them ever like saying that.
Hold on, wait a minute, because this is news to me. There was a Fash band that was scheduled to play DC Metal Chris. This is going to be completely unrelated to anything we're talking about, but it's really
Oh, no,
concerning
no
to me right
shit.
now.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm interested.
Was it that band Holy Cost or nah? I don't think it was them.
Holy cost? Come on.
That's so fucked up, dude.
It gets it's so
Come
much
on.
worse. It can get so much worse. You have no idea. But
Seriously, come on.
that got announced today.
Do
Sorry.
you know
Yeah.
Cemetery? Do you know Steve Albini, the guy that produced Nirvana's In Utero? Steve Albini,
That sounds
he's,
familiar.
Great.
You do music talk for 20 minutes again?
No. This is political, but anyway, 'cause
Okay.
he's basically yes.
He's the one with the baby dick, right?
yeah, right. Like me. He's just like me as a baby dick.
Hey, short kings rise up.
He's rise up. But no. No. He is like a communist. But
Interesting.
He's also like a rock producer. But like he fucking he was just tweeting about this shit. He said something like in regard have you noticed, obviously everybody has noticed the like super anti-trans sentiment that has been like flowing through American culture
Okay,
like a
DC,
fucking virus,
Chris, I get
right?
that. You can DM it to me
Like-
if you want.
And it's coming
Makes sense.
through also right now in like comedy, right? Like we've had Ricky Gervais and Dave Chappelle being very like prominent punch down anti-trans
Right.
comedians. He said something here, I'll just read the tweet. Hang on.
Was it when he was talking about the Ain't I a Stinker, where it's like ironic because since it's them doing it, it has to be funny because they wouldn't do that until one day it's like you've been doing it this whole time. Of course you would do it, and it's not funny anymore.
Effectively, dude, I'll just read it. He said, "No, I'm not going to
Really,
special
Chris?
before I say it's fucked up and it sucks.
Interesting.
I've seen fucked up things that suck before, and I already know the joke. They only have one joke. Anti-woke, trans-bash comedians are cultivating an audience that I very much do not want to be a part of. Ricky Gervais got comfortable learning to induce groans. He learned to do it like a trick, got famous, and got wealthy from it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I've seen his tweet. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think that's dead on accurate.
Hell yeah, dead
Like,
bang.
you learn to think like, oh yeah, you know what? I make people groan because I say, oh, I put the fucking Bible in the Barnes and Noble in the fucking fiction section, and everyone's like, yeah. So you're like, oh, edgy, yeah. This offends Christians, yeah. That means being edgy is good, and then you fucking are literally now instead of punching up where you were up against the Christian theocracy in these fucking countries, you're now punching down. You're like, okay, people want to defend trans people because they're a minority and they deserve our fucking respect. They deserve our defense.
Right.
And you're saying, oh, let's fuck them up. I think that's fucking so tiny dick cowardly. I don't know. It just that this fucking kind of shit like it actually
Very
upsets
small PP energy.
Yeah, like how the fuck, like I don't know, like
It's just
fucking defend
insecurity.
people.
Yeah.
Like
It's
fucking
people coming
Christ.
from it's people entering a world that they don't understand and having no frame of reference for it and feeling the need to still establish their dominance in it.
Yeah, they're like, this is not what like this isn't, my parents didn't like talk about this, therefore this is new and it's bad. And it's like fucking, you know what? Maybe like just love everybody. Maybe we don't need to be fucking bigots just because somebody's not like us. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, Chad, I feel like you had something to say for a while.
Yeah, sorry.
I got
We're totally trying to do a thing.
no. You started going off, and I was listening, but then I saw that I had True Social open, and I just popped off.
You're good, dude.
I figured you were.
There was an MTG thing that it was like I got the notification and it posted like 1 second ago and there was no comments yet. So I took that opportunity to just comment on it and say this is fake. We'll see what goes with that. Also the Dinesh D'Souza 2000 Mules thing. He was like the experts weigh in. You guys know about that, right? That's
No.
like he made it okay, so Dinesh D'Souza made like a doc. He sucks. He made a documentary about how the vote was stolen in 2020 and how Donald Trump is still the president. It's basically a bunch of bullshit. It's like
Naturally.
look how people were ballot stuffing, and it's like some guy like put like 5 ballots from his household, and it was investigated. Like it was like him and like his mom and his dad and like his sister or something like that, which is perfectly fine and legal. He put like 5 ballots into a ballot drop-off box or something like that, and they were like. And this guy went to 500 ballot sites and did this, which is like not true. And they didn't show.
Which wouldn't even like. Would that even affect anything? Even if he did do that, like I don't know.
No, it also wouldn't affect. Well, so the way that they did it is it's. I mean, there's like what's that, Kyle? What's that podcast? It's QAnon Anonymous.
Oh, I love them.
They did a episode basically breaking this down. Where they talked about like basically they for this documentary they spent like $2.5 million on like Google data or something like that to
cyber
find,
ninjas.
Find how many people like walked past ballot boxes and how many people did it like a suspicious number of times. No, you didn't send me it. No, I found it on my own. I was like, oh, because I was like Dinesh D'Souza. We just followed him on True Social. Who is this guy? Now I know about him. And their criteria was like people who walked past a ballot box like 5 times within like 2 months or something like that. And it's like it's using GPS cell phone data, which is like
oh god
accurate within like 100 feet or something.
I was gonna
like
say
that. So
that it's not even.
Anyone within like a whole block that walks past there on the way to work, they just assumed was like a ballot mule. Yeah, they assumed they were a ballot mule.
Wow.
And they showed this one like 2 or 3 videos of people putting like 4 or 5 ballots into a box, and then those people were investigated. Of course, they don't mention this. Those people were investigated, and they were like, yeah, this guy dropped off like 5 ballots that were like his direct family, which is not illegal. You can do that. But they were like, oh yeah, and they claimed this guy visited like 12 ballot boxes today, like this single day, but they didn't show any proof or anything like that. So anyway, so he just like sent out this thing. It was like the experts weigh in 2000 Mule documentary, and I just commented on it and was like, this is the most boring documentary I've ever seen. The music was terrible. It was not suspenseful. It was not suspenseful. The suspense was capital not killing me because you have to use caps to talk with these people. I'm just shit posting.
Dude,
that's it. That's all I was doing.
You have to type. You have to
tape like a fucking idiot.
Donald Trump. You have to pretend you're Donald Trump, which means this election was stolen, and the Democrats are evil. So you have to just like capitalize. You have to know what words to capitalize. You got to know what words to fucking quote. And just
I'm sorry. I made that face because the the band that dropped, Chris sent them to me, and I looked them up, and I was like, okay, what other bands are their members in? And the first other band I pull up straight has the Odal rune that the Nazis used in their logo, and I'm like, okay.
Was that what band? Is that the band you were just talking about?
Yeah. I don't want to.
Fuck.
And their second split is called Vinland Rising. Okay, all right. I know what time they're on. Thanks, Chris.
Wait, is that the one that's like a square with like
the two legs? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that really a Nazi rune?
Yes. It's okay. So it's a Nazi rune if it's got the.
I see how they like. Okay.
It's the Nazis made it. Yeah, it's called Odal, and they made it so if it's just like the diamond with two legs, that's not a Nazi rune. But it's a diamond with two legs and the feet. Yeah, that's a Nazi symbol.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of fucked up because like, I don't know if this is a bad thing to say honestly, but like some of the like symbols that they use are actually like really like.
They're based, not based, but like they look cool.
If it wasn't used in Nazi symbolism, really cool.
Yeah,
because in like what is it, Nepalese culture?
Yeah.
Or is it Indian? Like it's used all the time.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's a really cool. It has a great meaning. Like it's a really great symbol.
Have you ever seen a sun wheel?
And then they used it to just like slaughter millions of people.
Yeah, like the black sun is another one of those symbols.
Yeah, the black sun. Yeah, even a lot of the eagles and stuff like that. Like
the eagles are fucking sick. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
oh my god.
I'm canceled now. I'm canceled because I said fucking.
I mean, you're with us, so like,
I know.
Everything we're saying is like
you got your token, white people. You're no, I'm
no. I was looking at tattoos because I have a couple tattoos and like I was like looking at cool ones to get and I was like, well, I'm Polish, like I could get a Polish eagle and that would be like really cool. And I found some really cool ones to get and then like. I kind of realized, like, wait, it doesn't matter what eagle is, like, that's Nazi eagle, like that's it, like it doesn't matter if it is or isn't, like if it's a Polish eagle or a German eagle or a Nazi eagle, they're all Nazis. It doesn't matter, like so you can't do that actually, even though they look cool.
Did you guys ever play BioShock?
Yeah, that's free right now. Whole joint on Epic Store.
Oh,
wait, really?
No shit. Okay.
Wait, actually,
dude.
Yep. Epic Store.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Actually, but you know that fucking whole that whole when you look at the art in those like buildings in the game and those rooms in the game, and like the just like even just the building design period. That's like that's like called. I think the phrase is like the American Promethean aesthetic. It's like a basically like a fucking not transhumanist, but basically the modern equivalent of like a transhumanist kind of thing or like cyberpunk thing, right? They're looking at like just the influx of like electric technology and all that shit, and they're making art based on that. I think that shit's super fucking cool. But
hell yeah.
I was in Germany. I was in Nuremberg, which if you know your history, the Nuremberg trials where they basically tried all the Nazis.
Oh yeah.
And
I was in Nuremberg in Germany. They did Roblox them. Deservingly, if you ask me.
Yeah, oh dude, they should get they would have every American president since then would have been fucking hanged at that Nuremberg trial.
Yeah. But it was so wild because there was of all fucking places, there was a Nazi headquarters, right? It's this beautiful marble building, this beautiful marble building with like this great roof and columns and everything like that. And you could see on the front of the building was like where they had like the Nazi eagle and the symbol. It's like it's not there, like they removed it, but like you know how like if you were to cover like a piece of stone and time kind of wears on, like it's kind of imprinted there.
Yeah.
So you can see the imprint of like the eagle there and like kind of the banner.
No way.
It's so they removed it, but it's still there. Like it's not obvious, but like if you really look closely, you can kind of see that it's like kind of like it's not as grimy where it was, and it's a little bit grimier outside of it. And you know what this building was? Today?
No way. Tell us.
McDonald's.
Mickey D's.
I'm not joking. McMassacre.
Nuremberg,
Germany. There's a fucking McDonald with a.
That's so fucking beautiful.
The
That's
outline.
I
poetic.
hate this fucking
That's poetic.
planet, dude.
It was
God,
the
it is.
wildest
It's
thing I've
poetic.
ever seen.
Fuck me, dude. I hate this fucking planet.
Like, but like, I mean, what are you gonna like? You're gonna tear down the building because of that? Like, I mean, they probably should clean it, but maybe that was the
should've.
best because ultimately Nuremberg was like destroyed, so it's probably just like soot that's just like caked in. Like they can't
Yeah.
clean it all the way. I don't know. But there's
No,
fucking like it's a very very slight like eagle.
I want to
in
eat.
front.
I want to eat at that McDonald's so I can eat a Big Mac and just be in the aura of Nazis getting Robloxed.
They
Yo,
listen.
dude,
They
that's
sell
true.
beer at the McDonald's. It's better. That's all I'm
Ooh.
saying.
I stopped
That's all
drinking,
I'm
but
saying.
that sounds lit.
Okay.
Dude, God bless you. God bless you. I have not.
I
have not stopped.
am coming up on in December. It'll be 4 years. No booze.
Congratulations. That's
Oh,
awesome.
so
Thank
it
you.
was intent. Okay, if it was intentional, yeah. Sorry for the jokes.
Oh no! Yeah,
Congrats.
it
Congrats,
wasn't
man.
like anything super crazy. Just it probably should have happened, so it
Boys.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Still, congrats.
Thank
Good.
you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
But anyway, talking McDonald's, dude. I went to, the one McDonald's in the continental U.S.
Wait,
does
the
not have
entire
the
sorry,
fucking-
the entire BioShock collection is free.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Fucking
nuts.
download.
I'm doing it right
Fucking
now.
look.
I'm doing it. I'm at least like collecting it so I can download it later.
Yeah.
You never played it, please.
I never played it actually.
Oh, it's a libertarian utopia.
Yeah, literally, that's what it is. That's literally what it is. But so please play it. But I went to the one McDonald's in the continental U.S. that does not have the
4
logo
years. What up, family tree?
out front.
That's
And
nuts.
that is in Sedona, Arizona, which is the like fucking breeding ground for the QAnon type.
Oh God.
What?
Spiritual fucking. I'm gonna take a sound bath.
They go to
and
McDonald's to
become
do this?
for Father Xenu. No, so actually the reason why the arches are turquoise, right? The reason why is because the local government said that, well, they passed a law basically that said like all buildings must be aesthetically pleasing, like in a way that fits the natural beauty of this place. So yellow would have been jarring. They went with turquoise. You had to
I actually
do
get that. In my small farm town, we almost didn't get a Dunkin' Donuts because it would have disrupted the local culture.
bless. God bless.
We got it though. But they made it nice. It's like a
Dunkin'
farmhouse.
Bagal.
It's like a farmhouse Dunkin' Donuts. It's actually cool.
No,
Yeah.
that is neat. But
That's
yeah,
no. That's I mean that's good. That's like cool. Like I don't know.
comparatively, it's better. It's better
It's
than
still
just-
McDonald's. Like whatever. I guess.
Sedona's where all the magic rock white ladies go. That's funny.
Yo, DC Metal Chris. No, this is a wise man, dude. I'm telling you, this is a wise fucking man. He knows, dude. DC Metal Chris fucking knows. That's literally it, dude. I've never been so culture shocked in my life until I went to fucking Sedona, Arizona. That place, for fuck's sake.
Try and get some crystals. I low key. I kind of want to meet a crystal mommy. I kind of want to settle down with a nice crystal mommy. You know what I mean?
I don't think you mean that. I don't think you mean that, man.
I respect the ambition, but I've been there. You don't. It's not it. That's not it, dude. No. Don't.
The biggest culture shock I definitely had was going out west into the desert. It's like I grew up East Coast.
is
It's
just it,
green. We
yeah.
have trees everywhere. You ever
Yeah.
just not see a tree for like 20 miles?
Yeah, that shit's wild. The biggest culture
it's so
shock
scary.
was when I was out in Chico, California, and I just knew. I was like, I'm probably the only black person for like a 5-mile radius, and that was very fucking weird to me.
Is that like California coast, like rich white people area?
Nah, it's just like NorCal, like college town vibes.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah.
Dude.
How'd you like Cal? I really want to go out there. I feel like the landscape just
It
looks
was
so
chill.
gorgeous. Are you a big do you like outdoors at all?
Yeah, hell yeah. I grew up in the Patapsco Valley.
Patapsco's gorgeous. I love
Yeah.
Patapsco. I was there. I was there this spring.
I'm sorry,
going
family
through,
tree.
just like watching all the plants come up from the ground. The ground was just
I
like
have a
this
Discord.
beautiful emerald green.
You can
And then the
reach me on
trees were still
Discord.
dead. They weren't leafing yet, but all the ground like shrubs were coming up. It's just so gorgeous.
Yeah, I fucking am like, I don't know if I'd call myself an outdoorsman. I don't really camp a lot or anything like that, but like I lived so close to that park that I would be there all the time, every day. Like I know all the edible plants, I know all the flora and fauna and shit, like the history of the park and the role it played in the Civil War and stuff. Yeah.
Can I ask you a really, really, really serious question?
Sure.
Have you ever found a morel mushroom?
No, I have not.
I've been going off
Yo,
on these
Chad-
fucking mushrooms,
Chad's
dude.
obsessed, dude. Chad's so
That's
fucking
funny.
I recently learned that like not learned, I guess, but like for the first time I actually tried to like forage my own shit. And I was like basically I spent like 15, 20 hours a week. I would get home from work
Damn.
and just go outside into the woods and just like stare at the ground looking for these stupid ass mushrooms because they're so rare, but I've heard that they're like the most delicious thing ever.
I
And I
have
finally found one like 2 weeks into my fucking experience. So like
Nice.
30 hours of me just walking through the woods staring at the ground. I finally found some of these stupid ass mushrooms. And
I've
they were incredible.
I've only
They were
had
so
like
good.
chicken of the woods. I fuck with chicken of the woods super
Did you
heavy.
find that?
That's really
Yeah,
good.
you can
I've
find
heard
that around
that's
here.
good. I haven't. I know. I like the morels are easy because it's easy to tell if they are the real thing or if they're toxic.
Yeah,
it's really
for
easy
sure.
to tell. I don't trust myself with any of the other ones.
I honestly don't even do mushrooms.
Chicken of the wood is hard.
Yeah.
They're very.
There's a lot of yellow
normal.
mushrooms that just
They're very
grow.
normal mushroom looking. Yeah.
Fucking there's that and like cuz I'm just scared to do that shit. Like there was a big ass patch of mayapple near like the swinging bridge in the park, the part of the park I grew up near.
I know what you're
And
talking about.
yeah, fucking I was always too scared. Like I know when it's ripe and shit. I might try it now that I know that I've seen people on YouTube be like, nah, it's actually like an old wives' tale or a myth or whatever. And I've like
Yeah.
watched people eat fistfuls of May-apples and shit. But like,
Yeah.
I was always scared as a kid to actually try that shit.
I mean, I feel like if you have one, you're not gonna die.
Oh, May-apple?
Right? Like, I mean,
Oh,
well, I don't-
yeah,
I don't know
there's-
anything about-
there-
but like generally anything.
Yeah,
probably.
nah, this
Like, if you
dude I
eat
watched-
one mushroom or one random ass like thing, like you're probably
Ooh.
not gonna like.
No,
you might get some shit.
Mushrooms will kill you. Mushrooms,
Yeah,
especially like,
those you have to be careful.
yeah, like death caps and like destroying angels and shit, you will die. Yeah, but like, yeah, if you eat, I watched this dude eat like 36 fucking May apples, and he just said his stomach kind of hurt. So I'm like, all right, maybe it's
Because
safe.
you ate 36 of them. Man.
Yeah,
You're full. You're too full.
You were asking for it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, try them. We used to go out in the woods and like, there's I don't know. I think they're called elderberries. I'm actually not sure if
Yeah.
that's what they are.
We had-
like it's just like the berry bushes. You just like
yeah.
pop them, eat them.
We
all
had
the time.
there was wild raspberries, but you got to pick high up
Yeah.
in the bush. You know what I mean, so you don't get the pee berries. And
I never even did that.
Yeah,
I just ate them.
literally.
I just ate them.
you're
Whole
that's
bush,
wild.
the
Yeah.
whole bush.
Nah.
Just eat 'em.
I was always very conscious of that. Like I'm not trying to eat I'm not trying to eat no berries that have been peed on, but there's that and
That explains a lot.
like broadleaf plantain, just because that shit makes you it's like insect repellent. It'll make if as long as you don't eat a shitload of sugar that day, it makes mosquitoes not see you.
Interesting. That's
yeah.
what
What is that?
I
Say
didn't
it
know
again.
that.
Say it again. What is that?
Broadleaf plantain. Do you remember we called them guns here? Did you ever have it was like a plant that you pulled up as like a weed and you would wrap it around and pull it and shoot the head of it off and it would fly off? Did you ever do that when you were a kid?
No.
All right. I don't even know how to explain this thing now, but
I'll look it
basically
up, I'll look it
I've
up.
seen
Yeah.
these guys. Okay.
um
So you eat them and then
The seeds.
mosquitoes don't.
yeah, the
okay.
seeds will make it like you just kind of actually these are two different plants I'm talking about. Hang on. Broadleaf plantain is just like all green, right?
Yeah, and the seeds are like long,
Yep,
kind of like
yep,
a
yep, yep.
green
The
bean
long
or like
stalk. Yep,
asparagus.
yep.
Yeah.
So what you do is you kind of like, pluck the seeds off, like use your finger, drag it along the stalk like you would with like a green bean or something. And you can crush them up, put them in food, whatever, or just eat them straight off the thing. I was always reluctant to do that because I didn't want to eat anything that had been recently peed on, but
But you could surely just wash
rinse it
it,
off,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but basically it's makes it so that like it changes the chemistry in your like body and your blood or whatever. It makes it so that insects are less likely to bite you.
That's really
No way.
interesting.
And
I know a lot of northeast U.S. plants, but I never heard of that.
yeah,
I don't
it's
know that.
all over the place. That and I had a homie one time make me some nettle like tea.
I've heard of that. I've never had that, but I really want to try
It's
that.
pretty good. And he was a wild dude. He would like, just because when we were doing all of the outdoorsy, like foraging shit, he would do this. He would find a patch of stinging nettle and then find a patch of jewel weed and then fucking rub the nettle on his arm and then so he could rub the jewel weed on his
Calm it
arm and
down.
make it go away. Yeah.
That's fucking funny, dude.
That's
Nettles
super weird.
suck too. They actually fucking suck too.
Huh.
Have you run through a patch of nettles, Chad?
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're just pain.
They suck.
There's
They
so many
fucking suck.
plants in like the Northeast that are literally just pain.
Yeah. Well, the fucking
Even
Florida
Fucking
has,
spiky
yeah,
bitches. I don't know what they're called. The thorny. I literally call them like
burrs.
burrs. Is that what you call them?
Yeah.
I just call them
Yeah, that's
thorny
my-
assholes, man.
Well, at least we don't have manchineel trees. Florida's got manchineel trees.
I don't know anything about that.
Ooh, so they're basically like apples that are fucking insanely poisonous. Like, hold on, I'll
Probably
drop
don't
them.
eat those.
Yeah, definitely don't eat this shit. You will die. It comes from the Spanish. When the Spanish came here, they called the fruits on it manzanilla de la muerte, which is Spanish for little apple of death.
Death apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hang on, let me.
Some discussion. See, like foraging is just like so cool because it's free. You just go outside and you just
Yes,
pick it. Like,
herbalism.
have you
That's
ever
what
had
we're on right
you know
now.
what the garlic mustard is?
Yes.
That stuff. So you can make so I did this past week, 2 weeks ago. I went and picked a bunch of them. You can pick the baby ones, like the little rosettes, and you turn that into pesto.
Yep.
And that's good. And then the tall ones, you pick them and you pull the leaves off and you take the stems and you cut them into like, I don't know, whatever segment you want. And they're kind of like green beans, like they're crunchy,
Yeah,
or maybe
yeah.
like celery stalks that you kind of saute up. And they're delicious. They're good. It's like, but like you can just go outside and get this stuff. Like you don't even have to, you don't have to pay for it. You just
Yeah.
amazing.
There's I forget. It
Perfectly thing.
escapes me right now. But there's a guy on YouTube I used to watch who would just legit just go in his backyard and fucking film stuff that he was getting for his wife to make like pesto and all that stuff with.
Yeah, probably garlic mustard. Yeah, I mean, there's like a couple other like basically lettuce
Yep.
or lettuce-like
Elephant's
sort of thing.
ears.
I mean, yeah, elephant's ears. Even dandelions.
Dandelions,
I mean, they're
yep.
kind of bitter, but like you can you can.
Yeah, you can finesse
my
dandelions.
great grandpa used to make. He'd take a bunch of dandelions, smash that bitch up. He'd throw yeast in there, and he'd make dandelion wine.
That sounds amazing. I really want to try it. Like I want
Pour
to
in
try
a
and
few
make
bottles
stuff
of
with
whiskey
that. Like,
too. In
yeah.
the process, just to
Interesting.
like kill, obviously back then to kill like the bacteria and shit. But like, yeah, basically you just make bitter ass wine.
yeah.
Like your friends come over and they all leave fucked up.
The devil's lettuce.
It's
I'm a fan of
literally
the devil's
like,
lettuce.
free.
Literally.
Yeah, the devil's lettuce.
It's literally free.
It's
Yeah.
literally free shit, dude. And they
Yeah.
would say they talk about my grandparents. They talk about doing like, you know, the little like clover flowers, the little like
You make
pink-
clover wine too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you make clover wine. Yep,
Yeah. You can
That's
just
what
eat
they
that
do.
too. Like you could just
Yeah.
pick that and put it in your salad. Like you just eat it.
it's edible. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Those little flowers are edible. Yep.
Yeah, like you don't have to go to the grocery store and spend like fucking $5 for like a little bag of organic lettuce.
No, I've never heard
You just go
Damiano.
pick it.
See,
Right.
If
but
you
the
know, I want to clarify.
If you know what you're doing,
If you know what you're
You know
doing,
what
don't
you're
just go pick shit and start eating it. I want to clarify
Mind
that.
you will
mind
die.
part of the dandelion, literally, you will fucking die. Actually, listen, heed our warning. But yeah, like the piece of the dandelion that's useful is literally just the leaves attached. You know, because you get like the flower and everything. The
That's
leaves are
tight,
attached. You
Tegma.
can
I
eat
fuck with
those.
that. I
That's
wish
like
I did.
lettuce. That's like salad.
Yeah.
It's bitter, but if you can appreciate, fucking arugula or
Yeah.
what's it called? Like kale or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I really think that more people should do stuff like that, especially with like garlic mustard, because it's really bad for our native environment,
There
and
was
it's just killing everything.
it was mad funny.
kill
One of my
it.
friends came to visit while I was doing this one time because he was in the Navy and he was living out of town and came back to go to like some 4th of July something or whatever. And we went out and he was complaining about the bugs. And I was good because I ate me some fucking narrow leaf plantain seeds. Or some broadleaf plantain seeds. So I tried to hand him one. He was like, "I'm not eating grass," and got like super heated about it. It was mad funny.
And he paid the price for that, I bet.
Yeah,
He
dude,
probably
Patapsco is like crazy bugs too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you hunt at all?
Nah, not a hunter. I've been thinking about like I have the singer in my band. He goes fishing all the time. He goes hunting too. And
Yeah.
the only way I'd go hunting probably is if I was like, I don't know. Like I'm not vegan or vegetarian or anything. I definitely eat meat, but it's just like I would feel weird about like shooting unless I was like bow hunting or something like that. I'd feel really weird about just like blasting a fucking deer with a 308 from. But fishing is really fucking cool. He gets he likes to catch snakehead, so he like because apparently that's a really really good fish. I haven't had it yet, but he's been frying that shit up and trying to go through.
Yeah.
No.
Apparently,
I've
it's
caught a
really
lot
good.
of smallmouth bass and catfish.
He catches
I
those,
don't
too.
like catfish though. Catfish to me tastes like
Bro,
shit.
I love
I
catfish.
know people. Yeah, I know
I
people
love
love it, but to
catfish,
me,
too,
it just
yeah.
tastes like dirt. It's like I'm eating fucking
Bro, I
fried
understand
dirt.
that.
I don't know.
Bro, I've
It's-
eaten sunnies, dude. I've eaten fucking.
I've eaten sunnies. I've heard of people taking sunnies and scaling them, and then just putting like the rest of it in a blender and making sunny cakes, like crab cakes, but like
Yeah, I have a
Like, you
homie that
leave the bones in. Like,
yeah, I got another homie that likes to catch skate too. He's into skate and
Skate.
frying up some skate.
that sounds good. Do you go to the bay at all? Go crabbing?
Yeah, they both do. I haven't done any of that yet, but he also
That's
does.
fun.
He's from like Southern Maryland, so he does oysters. He actually sells oysters.
Yeah, dude, the bay is wild. Yeah.
It's nuts, and we're starting to get my favorite shrimp, tiger shrimp, because they're an invasive species and they're really fucked
Are they
up.
in the bay?
Yeah,
You just catch them? Really?
now they are. Well, not in the bay, but they're gonna be in Ocean
Like
City
southern?
and like
okay,
in
like on
in
the
the inlet. Yeah,
They're saltwater. Yeah.
yeah. But nah, not in the actual like river, but out, like Dorchester County and shit. There's going out like sea fishing and shit. You know what I mean? You'll be able to
Yeah.
definitely catch them, and that is my favorite shrimp. It sucks that they're here and they're an invasive species and they're like out competing the other native like indigenous species, but at the same time, I'm trying to fry me up some shrimp, bud. Them shits.
Well,
shits like
that's
this
the
fucking
best
big.
thing to do. Like if they're fucking everything up, the best thing
Right,
you can do
yeah.
is eat them. Like because they don't have the reason they're out competing is because there's no predators.
Right, and
So,
they're
like,
just big as
you're
fuck.
gonna be the
and,
predator.
Yeah, they're aggressive ass shrimp. They're probably. I would imagine they'll put bounties on them because I know there's bounties on like
think?
lionfish in Florida because of how
yeah.
Which is
crazy.
good, 'cause,
Yeah.
they're bad for the fucking ecosystem.
We used to go crabbing in like the Chesapeake when I was younger, like, and it was literally like as simple as you'd get a piece of like string, like twine or something like
Yep.
that, and you'd go get a
Chicken
rotisserie
leg.
chicken.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chicken neck.
Or like not even a rotisserie, like just raw
neck.
chicken. Just tie it around, throw it on, wait 2 minutes, pick it up. You have a crab. Just throw it in.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah,
literally.
they have traps.
Yeah, I mean,
they-
you can do it. You can do it with
Traps
traps,
are
but it is that easy.
the
Yeah.
poorest, easiest way is like a piece of string and a piece of chicken. And, like,
Facts.
or hot dogs, man. You can
Dude, I've
catch
gotten
catch
dinner
catfish with hot
literally-
dogs.
Oh, you catch
done
mad
dinner
catfish with
with-
hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever see dudes go out on a boat and shit for catfish, like and have the flashlight and everything, and they're like bow and arrow, like or carp even. If you know someone who's redneck enough to eat carp, like you go out on a boat and shit.
I haven't done that on a boat. I've gone out to lakes where you go night fishing and you throw it out and you catch carp. And I was really trying to catch. I mean, I wasn't really eating any of this at the time. It was just catch and release. But I was really trying to catch an eel because you can really only catch them at night, and they're basically everywhere. But I was just trying to catch a fucking eel.
No, definitely not freshwater though, right?
Yeah, freshwater. Yeah.
Get freshwater eels.
There's all sorts of eels.
Yeah, we got American eel.
American eels, freshwater. Yeah.
I had no fucking idea that we had freshwater eel.
You can go at night. At night, you can go cast, and you can. In theory, it's. I mean, I only did it once. I only tried to catch an eel once, and I didn't. But I've heard it's very easy.
Yeah, the spot where I grew up, there was a. It used to be a hydroelectric dam, but the Hurricane Judith, I think it was, whatever one it was in like the 70s, fucked it up. So it was just like this useless piece of shit that they were trying to like make fish ladders around and stuff because it was fucking with the local fauna. And so they blasted it in 2018. The river's back to its natural like state of flow, and there's only one dam left, Daniels Dam, which is a few miles up the river. But because that area is clear now, all the spawning fish and stuff came back. So there's eel and stuff in that section of the river.
City.
Yeah.
Well, it's because that fucking city flooded like.
Oh, it floods all the time. But it's not even because it's a floodplain, and they knew that when they first started moving there. But the real estate developers and shit were just like, we'll just get people to move in here and then not give them flood insurance and build all this weird-ass infrastructure with no causeways and shit so that once the people... We have all their money, there's not shit that they can do about it. It's really kind of really fucked up and corrupt.
That place is gorgeous, though. Like, Patapsco's gorgeous. Ellicott City is like... I like that place a lot. But I don't know.
Chad, you cool to close out soon?
Yeah, we can close out. I'm not mad that we didn't get to any of my...
I was gonna say we barely touched that shit. I wanted to
we didn't touch it all. No, it's fine. It's fine.
We can totally. You guys know, anytime you want to talk, I'm always down to fucking blaze up and fucking shoot the shit with y'all.
Hey, same dude.
This is a blast. Seriously, we appreciate it. This is fun.
You're one of the Twitch people that we appreciate.
Thank you. Most. That makes me feel good because there are people who definitely do not appreciate me on Twitch.
They could suck it.
Yeah, they can.
I feel it.
No, I feel like for some reason we have the closest, probably like political, maybe not necessarily political views, but.
Probably.
I don't know.
Round views.
Yeah.
Well, you two definitely, because you're both anarchists, and I'm
not quite so Cemetery, much. I very much fucking agree with Cemetery.
Yeah.
I very much agree.
Are you just more like a social democrat or democratic socialist, I guess, or
I don't know,
libertarian socialist?
I really don't know where I lie at this point.
There's how I kind of
I go back and forth.
I was gonna say there's like liberal in the middle, or like slightly to the left of the middle, and then further past liberal there's like soc dems, dem socs, like all those people who kind of want to call themselves socialists but don't want to commit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you get to the socialists and the communists and the MLs and shit a little bit farther left, and then once you get all the way left, you get to the crusty anarchists like us.
You get us. You get hard left. Dude, my conservative fucking dad. I sent him the political compass quiz. He was like center. Down a little.
A librarian would be sick. Librarians are dope.
Fucking far bottom left, baby. He's like, yeah, fucking bet.
That's funny.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Motherfucker. You are.
I mean, I'm all for. I'm definitely a liberal. Like, I'm definitely for.
I feel it.
Liberal. Like, individual rights is definitely like. Down my alley. But I also like some aspects of capitalism, but I also definitely am more socialist and unionized. Like I don't mind I think you can have markets under socialism, which is a whole nother discussion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Time. But I think you could definitely have the best of both worlds, honestly. I think you could have a unionized workforce and a stock market. Like I think that's I just like the stock
Right.
market. You can just
Right, I
get
feel
money
like
for free. It's what like
literally, I feel like you like markets. I feel like you don't necessarily care about capitalism, period. Just like markets.
I like the competitiveness that capitalism provides because I think historically, and I would be glad to be proven otherwise, but I think historically capitalism has provided the best technological progression, which I'm a big fan of. Being in the biotech industry,
I
I
don't
don't really
know.
know that we'd have as
It's not
best that we
true.
would.
I was gonna say I don't
I was
know.
gonna say, so I said you could feel free to prove me wrong. So there we go. Okay.
I was gonna say
I
that
sent
the
you a
internet
Chomsky
was
quote.
well, yeah, you'd probably be better at
The
explaining that
internet
than I would.
was well. That's true. I
Internet
mean,
was invented by DARPA, but computers to begin with were invented by like government. It was fucking I think Navy technology.
Yeah, it was all government.
Like
It was all federal
because
stuff.
that shit at
right.
that time, it's not profitable at all. So
Yeah.
like
But you also have to
private
think
industry is
that
not
even
that-
that idea goes back to even like IBM with their counting machines, which also was
Oh,
used
yeah.
for Nazi counting machines.
Yeah.
So that draws
Totally,
back
totally.
from the free market a little bit.
I was gonna
and
say,
that draws back from
I might
other
be on for a little bit family tree
socialist
after I talk
and
to them if you
educational
want to talk.
institutes. Like so, it all coincides. It all intermingles. Like it's.
if
I don't
we
think you can.
remained-
I don't know.
if we were free market capitalists from the time America was like
We're not. We're
conceived,
not. Yeah.
if we were though, we would be still trading beaver skin. And actually would be like owned by Britain.
Wouldn't life be better?
So-
Wouldn't life be simpler? I
All
wouldn't
right,
have to.
all right,
I wouldn't have to
fucking
go to
Ted.
work
All
and
right,
sit at my
Ted
computer for
Kaczynski.
8 hours when I could do
All
it at
right.
home.
All right,
Facts.
Unabomber, you could fucking kill your squirrels, and that's that.
Wouldn't it be
Luddite.
nice?
Would be nice.
I'm a solar punk. I just want to fucking have fucking broadband, high speed internet, and fucking
Next.
solar panels and like Stirling engines and shit everywhere. That's where I'm at.
Hey, bro, I'm waiting for the green industrial complex instead of the fucking.
Oh my God.
Same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What up,
like,
Femlin?
Instead of fucking bombing people, why don't we just
Family
Give a bunch
tree.
of
Where's
money-
your site?
listen,
Can you drop your site?
I don't like Elon
It's
Musk
got your
as much as the
contact?
next guy, but if he's gonna make the fucking United States of America solar,
He's not.
I don't care.
Spoiler alert.
It's not. But
Okay,
I would
then
like-
That would
the
be
next guy. I
that would
don't
be
give a
nice.
shit.
I was
Pick
gonna
the
say
next guy. Pick the
I
next guy. Like I don't care.
Yeah,
Just
I would-
fucking
I'd
do
give
it.
him his
Just stop giving
cookies.
money to Raytheon.
I would give him his
Literally,
cookies if that were the
yeah.
case, but it's not.
I
He's not,
would, dude,
unfortunately.
Just
I'd
pick-
fucking-
just
I'd
pick
ignore all
anyone,
the other
dude.
shit. And I
Then
would
pick
be
pick the next CEO to be the richest guy in the in the world. I don't
in
care.
the- in
If there's some
history,
guy with
yeah.
$300 billion, but we have green energy, I don't give a shit. That's what I'm saying.
Dude, I'm with you.
I don't care. Like you can fucking own your own country, but if the rest of the world's green, fine. I'll take that. Whatever. Yeah.
We can always.
That's true,
guillotine
Globus.
That guy, right?
Yeah, you can just kill him.
Hell
Whatever.
That's honestly the part that I prefer more than it's the thing that my friend that I don't know if you guys know Frackle. If you follow Frackle,
No.
he's
We are
mad funny.
Twitch illiterate. We don't know.
He's
anybody.
one of my chatters, one of my mods, and he's fucking hilarious. And he sent this cartoon.
right now.
I'm trying to find it just because I don't want to word it improperly, just because it was so fucking funny when he sent it. God damn, I can't find this shit. Oh, here it is. It's like it's this monkey that has all these bananas hoarded, and there's like 4 monkeys underneath of him, and they're like, so we're just gonna all work together. And he's like, oh shit, you guys are forming a union? And the monkey's like, nah, we're just gonna beat the shit out of you and take the bananas.
That's what it should
Wait,
be.
I think I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, are you guys unionizing? No, we're just gonna kill you.
We're just gonna fucking smoke your ass and take the bananas.
Right.
That's so good. Fuck, that's so good. That's it, man. All right, you about ready to
Hell
roll
yeah.
out? I'm fucking smashed, and also I gotta fucking gotta get drugs by the FDA tomorrow.
Ooh.
Let's go.
I have to go in tomorrow. I'm so pissed off. I
Gotta
thought we were
fucking-
having a fucking happy hour tomorrow, and we're not.
Yeah, they lied
I
to us, bro.
misplanned.
They say this stupid shit.
Wah,
No,
wah.
no, it's next week. I just wasn't listening because I was on my phone at the time and I just listened to the wrong date.
It's not your fault. It's their fault, in my opinion. No matter what. But
No,
yeah,
I gotta go in tomorrow, which is pain, but whatever.
that's fucking sucks. I'm staying home. I told him, yeah, fuck him. But yeah, dude, Cemetery, dude. Thank you so much for hopping on with us, dude. We gotta
Thank
do
you.
this again.
We love you,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Seriously, this
Love
is
you
this is
too.
always such a blast. I love talking to you, man.
Hell
You
yeah.
great.
are, honest to God, like most of our guests, we just like shit post the whole time. It's just fun. But you actually have insightful things to say, so we appreciate
Thank you. I
very
appreciate you. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
fun talking to you guys. It's always just fun. It's just vibes.
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Always, man. Vibes, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'll
Alright,
hit you
man,
up
we
on Twitter.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Gotta make some electronic shit.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send you some stems.
Bounce some shit back and forth. It'll be fun. But anyway, have a good rest of your night, man.
You do the same. Y'all be safe. Enjoy.
You too.
Bless.
Good night, man.
Peace,
Hell
man.
yeah. Good night. Alrighty then. Ladies, gentlemen, and non-gender conforming individuals. That was of Hogs and Men. The homies from Of Hogs and Men. Let me turn my camera on really quick so that you guys can see me. Good vibes. Yeah, those are good dudes. I fuck with those dudes heavy. Fuck with them heavy. You didn't. So it started off as like, I feel like, because they were trying to do a podcast episode. So we were trying to, there was notes of stuff that we were supposed to hit as like topics of discussion, but we just kind of did our thing. And that's why I fuck with them, just because like, we're just vibing, you know what I'm saying? Just freestyling. And I like doing podcast stuff. Obviously, I co-host a podcast with my housemate, but like, yeah, it was cool. I feel bad that we didn't get to a lot of stuff they want to talk about, but I'm sure we'll talk again many times. So, but Family Tree on YouTube, how you doing? I know you said you wanted to interview me, you wanted to talk, but you don't have Discord. So, you said you dropped your site in the messages. I don't see it in the comments here though. I wish you could just do like messages on fucking YouTube, but whatever. Hopefully they saw or heard are still here. Yes. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Drop your site, Family Tree, so we can talk. Do you have like Skype? I guess if we're not going to use Discord, because I have Skype as well. What time is it? 11:30. My eyes hurt. I got something in my eye. You host a Big Blue Button server. Okay. Do you want to drop the link? Will YouTube let you drop the link? Oh, okay, I see. We can, if you want to set up an interview, if you want to do something now, I'm going to go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week. If you want to set up like a time now, that's usually when I go live. Fade Runner's live. Let's see if... Samantha Banana. Oh, jeez. What's up, Bink? Nah, so I just saw the tweet that Samantha Banana sent like an hour ago. It's funny. But take a look. I didn't see. Did you post it? I didn't see it. Did you post it here or what's up, Family Tree? Um, I didn't see the link. Yeah, it's not showing me any link that you dropped. Thank you. By the bell pepper. Let's see what Fade Runner's doing. Fade Runner. What game is he on? Oh, he's on Dead Cells. I forgot he's gonna play Dead Cells. I fucking love Dead Cells. Let's do the link with Bink tomorrow. Links aren't working? Yeah, I don't think links are working. I can't see them. Shit. I'm just going to drop my email address in chat for you. And I'm probably just going to raid into Fade. You guys want to see what's up with Fade Runner? Fade Runner is my mod, one of my best friends, my comrade, my coworker. We whip the forklift together. He doesn't whip it as much as I do now. He whipped it a lot back in the day, but he works in the office now. He's moving up in the world. Let's unmute his tab. Let's see what he's up to. Let's see what Fade Runner's on.
What up, Bink?
It's Bang. All right, y'all.
Let me watch out. He's ready to sling that motherfucking axe. Oh, and it hit me.
Family Tree, I dropped the email.
I got played myself.
Get at me.
I totally played myself right there.
I'm gonna fade it.
Let's upgrade the ice grenade. Let me show the ice grenade some
Let
love.
me mute him really quick so we can talk to y'all for a second. I'm gonna raid into Fade Runner. I'm gonna raid in the stream you see here. I'll be live again tomorrow. Thank you, Family Tree. I'll be live again tomorrow. I go live at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York time. I go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, talking about the news, talking about politics, and just playing video games. It's been a minute since I played some Mortal Kombat, so I think I'm actually going to commit to playing some Mortal Kombat tomorrow. If Bink Princess would like to do the link with Bink tomorrow, then I would love to do a link with Bink, but that's all I got for right now. We're gonna raid into Fade Runner. I appreciate you, Tegma. I appreciate you being here. I truly do. I love this community. All you guys are awesome, and the respective streamers that you came from and Discords and all. Everybody that you all follow and fuck with and rock with are based. I'm rocking with y'all just like y'all rocking with me. And I cannot thank y'all enough. You guys have not just been my motivation to continue streaming, but also just kind of my motivation to not be such a sad sack of shit all the time in my personal life, in my real life. So thanks, y'all. Not to get all sappy and shit on y'all, but I really fuck with y'all heavy. I really appreciate y'all being here and rock with me the way that y'all do. But we're gonna raid Fade Runner. Thank you, Bronx. I appreciate you being here too. But we're gonna play some MK and talk to Bink tomorrow.